Yo, Northwest Sports Fanatics, back at you with a new video. Today is Monday. Hopefully everyone had a good start to their week, and we are going to go over a Q&A with the fans. Obviously, we have Inside Training Camp Live on NFL Network. That's what I'm watching usually when I get off work. A lot of reading, a lot of film study, catching up on everyone in training camp based off injuries, based on good play from rookies, based off guys that are breaking out, maybe guys that are getting dominated that shouldn't be dominated, that is in the starting lineup. Hope everyone is having a fantastic day. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can, either on here, patreon.com. No. The Cash App, $ORION-NWSF at the Cash App, or the YouTube Super Chat. And if you're looking for merch, Northwest Sports Fanatic merch, link is below every video on the YouTube page. Follow me, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram at NW Sports Fanatics. NWSF Chain Gang in the building. Hope everyone is having a fantastic day. Michael Pierpont in the building. What to do? I see what is in Dinwiddie's contract. Michael Pierpont. Justin Wills in the building. Yo, what to do? Tess, good Monday. Fine people. How are you? Kyle Perone in the building. In the building. How are you? Like I said, this is going to be pretty much an open Q&A. My girlfriend's got to get back to work, doing some remote work for her job, so I'm not going to be able to do a 2-hour live stream or anything like that. Normally, I like to do live streams for about maybe an hour to 2.5 hours. So this one will probably be a little bit shorter, probably anywhere between maybe 30 minutes to an hour. But I just wanted to make sure I hop on and show the dedication, let everyone know when the next live stream is going to be, which will be Thursday. Washington football team versus the New England Patriots, 4:30 p.m. NFL Network, 8/12/21. And obviously at that point, I'll still be working my full day. We're going to get a heat wave here in Oregon. So we're going to be getting about temperatures 97 degrees and higher Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and it's looking like we're probably going to be hitting 100 and above on Wednesday to Saturday. So it's going to be hot. I got a Bucs fan at least in here, so I'll still be able to call the game. Got the TV here as well. We got the Titans offense and their training camp here on the background on NFL Network, which is fantastic. Let's go over some questions. Fire away. And like I said, I'll be on here for a little bit. So if you have any questions about any players, any teams, any kind of gibberish that you see that's on NFL Network, ESPN, any of the talking heads that might be talking out of their ass, I will be able to set you straight in what I think. Tess, I saw Big Nuts Will Lutz with the injury. I don't want to say everything for the Saints is crumbling right now, but I kind of want to say I told you so. I kind of had this feeling that things with, obviously Drew Brees leaving, and then obviously with guys no longer there, like Jackrabbit, Janoris Jenkins, and Sheldon Rankins, and T-Rex, and then now Michael Thomas is having these problems. Now you find out the kicker is injured with the core muscle injury, so you're going to have to sign Marr, it sounds like, to be able to replace him, which is no Big Nuts Will Lutz, which is very sad for me because I don't want you guys to crumble and I want you guys to be as healthy as possible. But it shows you when you have a Super Bowl caliber team, it doesn't last forever. Ask the Seattle Seahawks, ask the San Francisco 49ers, when they had their run with, Dangerous, Marshawn Lynch, Legion of Boom, or Colin Kaepernick, Patrick Willis, Navarro Bowman. That shit just does not last forever. You can always rebuild, but I just hate seeing guys one after another. First it's Carson Wentz, then it's Quentin Nelson. Now we're seeing this Big Nuts Will Lutz injury. Prayers for him. Hope that he ends up getting healthy as soon as possible. One of my favorite kickers in the league. Even though I'm a Bucs fan, still represent and obviously appreciate great talent there. Tess has a question. She says, Orion, what do I think about CJ Henderson? As you know, I read every day. I know that he might be on the block. You guys need corner. You guys need players. As long as you guys don't pay too much money, to try to reach out and try to grab other players from the Jags or maybe some of the other bottom feeder teams that if they have some extra pieces to let go of, as long as you're not giving up too much. But, I mean, gosh, there's a lot of drama in the NO. And like I said, if you guys had the same quarterback and the same roster, you might be able to get past it. But I'm thinking that a lot of the Michael Thomas situation is going to be a distraction, but I think C.J. Henderson is decent. I'm not sure if that's really going to solve all the problems. You're really going to have to lean heavy on Demario Davis, Cameron Jordan, Lattimore. There's going to be some key guys. Onyemata would have been one of the guys that you guys would have leaned on, but since he's got the PEDs, he'll be out for like the first 5 or 6 games, which is unfortunate, but we will have to wait and see. But I don't think he's too bad. CJ Henderson. Michael Pierpont. He said, you also see what Quez Watkins did in the scrimmage yesterday. I did not. I did not see what he did in the scrimmage yesterday, but I've seen a lot of guys starting to ball out in these scrimmages, but we need to translate what they do in the scrimmages, at least in the preseason games, if they get to play. So a lot of people can see that on a wider, broad spectrum of the talent that they have. Said, doing fine amongst all the Saints rumors, not sweating it. You? I know some people are. Chances the Eagles get Watson. I would say pretty high if you guys want him. But the thing is like, you guys get him this season. You trade away a lot of draft picks, first rounders, second rounders. He plays all year for you. You guys make a wild card or win the division, but then he's suspended for all of 2022. I mean, is that something that you really want to do? And also, if you do give him, the rings, if you give him the main seat, the king of the castle, if he's the guy, what about Jalen Hurts? You know what I mean? He's just the backup. I mean, that might cause a little quarterback, not necessarily controversy, because we know Watson, when healthy, is a top 4 quarterback in the league. But I think Jalen Hurts could be, a top 15 quarterback in this league, and I want him to get a chance. I would rather have you guys not get him and look for a long-term future. I think Sirianni might be the odd man out at some point. I would rather get rid of him and then keep Hurts there. And obviously you got Miles Sanders, Dallas Goedert, get rid of Zach Ertz if he doesn't want to be there. Brooks is getting older. Dillard's coming off the injury. We saw Jason Peters and, the age and whatnot, and he had to try to sub in. And then obviously we know Lane Johnson's a stud. Kelsey's a stud. You guys just need to stay healthy. And you got Fletcher Cox and Big Play Slay, Darius Slay. They're not getting any younger. So I would love for you guys to try to get like a Kayvon Thibodeau or, just try to build around Jalen Hurts. But I would say that they're probably the team that's most likely to get him if the Eagles want to pull the trigger, just because you guys have the draft capital to be able to do it. You're going to have a couple first rounders, second rounder for Wentz. You're going to have other guys that you could give up with that as well. So, I mean, you could always throw Zach Ertz with the first round, second round draft picks. If he doesn't want to be there, he wouldn't want to go to Houston. But I mean, if he wants to go somewhere else, or if he's not happy with the blonde frosted tips, all right, you could always move him. Probably wouldn't be the best destination to go to, the worst team in football, the Houston Texans. But I would say, it would probably be like 60-70% chance. Like if you're going to go to one team, the Eagles have got to be the team that it seems like they maybe have the interest, have the draft capital, but I'm kind of hoping that they do not pull the trigger. Let's let all the legal shit play itself out first. Obviously Watson's a good quarterback, but you don't want to have those distractions. You don't want to be just lured in by, we're going to make the playoffs and just trying to get W's and win Super Bowls. I mean, you got to hold guys accountable. And if he ended up being the guy that he is portrayed in the media with these 20 plus girls, I'm not sure if that's really the guy you want to represent for your team and your city. And obviously your organization in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, which used to be obviously Pennsylvania, but not anymore. Michael Pierpont. Tess in the building. Says our heat over 100. Ooh, that heat index. Yeah. I mean, we don't have the humid weather out here, but it's definitely going to be quite some time. Lutz is out with a core surgery. Very, very unexpected, but not for me. It's like sometimes when it rains, it pours. And I didn't know that Lutz would be the next guy on the list. And we're hoping and praying that nothing happens to AK-41. I know there's a lot of people that are spiteful. I know there's a lot of people that are haters out there. They only love their team and they hate all the rest in the division out there. But I'll tell you what, I want you guys to be as healthy as possible. You know what I mean? But you have to look at the bare bone facts. Who is on the roster? Who's healthy? Who's suspended? Who's injured? Who's stepping in? Like I said, you still got an amazing O-line, top 5. You got probably a top 5 coach in Sean Payton. He's going to have to really earn his money this season. But no Michael Thomas. Wide receiving core very, very thin. Tight end thin. You got AK-41, but then if AK-41 gets banged up and you have Latavius Murray, he's a guy that could take over, but it's not the same impact as AK-41, a top 5 running back in the league. So you can kind of stay afloat with Latavius Murray. He's a good backup. I'm not sure if Latavius Murray could be a starter on a lot of teams in the NFL, maybe like 3 or 4. maybe teams in the NFL could start a Latavius Murray, but there's a lot of guys in the NFL that are just as good or better. But I think that he's pretty good. I don't think he's a bad backup. I would take him on my team on Tampa Bay if I didn't have any depth. That's for damn sure. So core surgery, he's out. We'll see where it goes. Tess says with the next comment, if I can bring it up here. She's got a very big leg. I hope it's an accurate one for us. And that is one thing. You can have a leg, but even like Legatron, that we saw in the Rams, sometimes over time, even though you can have the nicknames like Legatron and you think that the guys are going to be making all the field goals, sometimes it just depends on the team that you're on. Sometimes guys lose their confidence at kicker, but it's very, very important to have a kicker. And it just seems like right now with the Saints, hopefully nothing is falling apart all together completely, but maybe to start with that Michael Thomas news. Now you got this. Maybe there's going to be a few other things that start to snowball. I hope not. But that's sometimes what happens in the NFL, and that's big facts. Justin Wills in the building. What it do? Tess says, rumor has it MT for Henderson and Shark. I don't think they're going to do that because, like I said, MT is probably not happy. Shark is a great talent. Shark could be good, but you got to remember, it's all about who's throwing him the football. Drew Brees throwing the football is a lot different, than Jameis Winston or Taysom Hill. So Shark could be a number one receiver. Probably not as productive as a Michael Thomas, but it all depends. Both of them have had some injuries that have kind of set them back, throughout the seasons in the last couple of years. But I've always liked Shark from LSU. I usually pick him up in fantasy. A guy that can put up some good stats is the wide receiver one. Obviously, you could swap that and have Shark be the guy in the NO and have MT there. There's rumors, but I don't think they're going to do that. We're too far into training camp. MT will play this season disgruntled, right? And then eventually they'll trade him off next year, but I don't see any trades happening this year. And that's facts. Dylan Rona in the building. Saints in the building. What to do? Michael Pierpont says what Quez did at the end of the season last year, I think he'll ball out. You definitely saw some flashes with him, so I'm excited to see what happens for the roster, depending on the depth chart and, what type of playing time and opportunities and targets and whatnot you're going to be able to get, but it'll be interesting to see. Hybrid in the building. What to do? He says, yo, Ravens flock, baby. What to do? What to do? Excited for the Ravens. I already know Bateman and J.K. Dobbins are going to have breakout years. And that's why I know they're going to be able to beat the Steelers and the Bengals. You might not be able to beat the Browns in the division because they have so much balance. But I think Rashad Bateman, it can be the guy that we thought Hollywood Brown was going to be, a true number one receiver, a guy that can do everything. And I know J.K. Dobbins is going to be one of those guys that's going to really break out, just like I thought Cam Akers was going to break out before his injury preseason. So salute to Cam Akers. Hopefully he'll be okay. But I know J.K. Dobbins will definitely ball out. Let's see here. Michael Pierpont said, I love Sirianni. I think we trade Hurts to Houston in the Watson trade. You can say you love Sirianni now, but once you end up having a few, 4-13 seasons or a few, 5-12 seasons, you're probably not going to like him that much. Like I said, I'm not sure if I really like his personality and his style. Yes, he's got to go out there and get it done. But if you're looking at the roster, based off the depth that the Eagles have, I mean, it's not a coincidence that a lot of people have them in third or fourth place in the NFC East. But anything can happen in the NFC least, a.k.a. NFC East. You could end up winning 9 or 10 games and still end up winning the division. That's facts. You're going to beat up on each other. But I don't know if a Sirianni, to me, gives me the vibes of like, this guy can lead you to the playoffs. This guy's going to lead you to the next NFC championship game. I just don't see it. So I know it's early. He needs to go out there and prove himself. But just based off the interviews, based on just, the vibe that I get, I don't think that's the guy that, once you fire him in like a year or two, then that next guy that you get will probably get you closer. But like I said, going from a Dougie P, to a Sirianni, I'm not sure if they're really going to buy into his personality. I might be wrong, but I mean, a couple bad seasons of 4 or 5 wins, his ass will be out of there. And then hopefully you guys can get someone better, but I am not sold on Sirianni one bit. But there's other guys that I'm not really sold on that much either, like Dan Campbell, MCDC. They obviously don't have the talent. You guys are lacking some, talent in certain spots as well. You haven't got the Zach Ertz thing done yet. The defense is getting older. The offensive line has been getting beat up and injured and not being able to stay on the field. But I do love Dallas Goedert. I like Miles Sanders. I love Devontae Smith. I like Hurts a lot, but I'm just not sure if Sirianni, to me, would I want Sirianni as my head coach? No, I wouldn't. I just don't think that that's the guy. I mean, but I could be wrong. But like I said, a couple bad seasons of 4 to 6 wins, his ass will be out of there, and you guys will be looking for someone else. Nola in the building. What to do? Let's see here. Nola says, I ain't worried, bro. We the Saints, we built different. Well, you should be fucking worried. Now you have the Michael Thomas news that you didn't want to believe me, and now you're seeing that it's real. Now, Big Nuts will let your kickers out. Who's next? AK-41? Jameis? Taysom? Cameron Jordan? Demario Davis? I mean, who's next? Lattimore? I mean, it's starting to snowball, and you can't act like it's not going to bring drama in the locker room. And then, obviously, with the other receivers and the other players in the locker room, you think they're going to treat Michael Thomas the same way? Fuck no. You know, this is definitely going to be a damaged, fractured relationship that cannot be fixed. And like I told you, he's not going to be on the team probably after this year. I doubt that they trade him this season. You know, he's already injured. I mean, unless you want to just punish him and have him on the bench and you know, depending on what you're trying to get for him the following year. But you're not going to get even compensation. You're going to get someone worse talent-wise or draft pick status-wise. And then the chances of actually getting a Michael Thomas in the draft is very slim. So it all depends if Michael Thomas can stay healthy. He might be one of those guys that's injury prone. He might be like an Odell Beckham Jr. Yeah, I know he broke the reception records, you know, like 149 and, you know, 1,700 plus yards, 9 touchdowns. That's all fine and dandy, but that was a couple years ago. No one considers him a top 5 wide receiver anymore. They have him at top 10 based on what he did in 2019. But if he keeps getting hurt the next few years, he's going to slide out of the top 10 and he'll be top 15. And he's going to have to be able to earn his way back into the top 10 and top 5. And I'm not sure if he is built the way to be a healthy receiver. Some guys are just freaks, right? And they just don't get hurt. And there's other guys like AJ Green. He was a top 5 wide receiver. Odell Beckham Jr., top 5 wide receiver. They have never recovered. And you're never going to hear them being top 5 receivers ever again. So unless they end up getting a better quarterback situation for MT on the team that he goes to, obviously the Saints have Taysom or Jameis, so there's caps there. You're limited. But it sounds like the divorce is already, you know, it already started last year. I already knew that this was kind of coming at some point, but now it's really starting to come out how fractured it is. Hopefully you have no problems with AK-41, but you should be worried because all that talk of winning 11, 12, 13 games is not going to happen, all right? And you just want to make sure you can stay afloat and have a team and not have a bunch of me guys out there with the egos, because I know definitely this is not going to be good for the locker room. And if he ends up being a distraction, they might just bench him, suspend him, you know, try to trade him. But obviously, if he's going to be so disgruntled and acting this way, what team really is going to want him? It's like, yeah, you're talented, but you're a head case off the field. You're causing problems in the locker room. You're a me guy. You're not a team guy. And you've gotten hurt. And you've been kind of banged up now. So, I mean, it's the trade value as far as teams wanting a Michael Thomas. I don't think there's going to be a lot of teams being like, oh, fuck, we need Michael Thomas right now. I don't think really people are thinking that. I mean, a lot of people are going to be wanting Devontae Adams next year if he decides to go out. Obviously, him and, you know, Derek Carr, you obviously have that relationship at Fresno State, so maybe he can go to the Raiders from Vegas. But I would be worried because at this point, if you keep having bullshit happening to the roster, you guys won't finish in second place in the NFC South. You're going to finish in third, all right? Because the Panthers, you know, more than likely, if you guys keep having these injuries and you guys keep having these problems and you guys don't have a strong locker room and the Panthers play good football and Run CMC stays healthy and Darnold plays good football and the defense with Brian Spider Burns and Jeremy Chin and JC Horn ball out, you probably will get passed in the win-loss record column to the Carolina Panthers. Now, I don't know if the Panthers are good enough to make the playoffs this year. I would say no. I would say the only team that's going to make it out of the NFC South is Tampa Bay. And then you got Green Bay. And then Washington, Dallas, you know, one of those teams probably there. The Giants, Eagles, someone over there. And then you got 3 teams. You know, you got the Niners, you got the Rams, and then the Cardinals or Seahawks. And then maybe the Vikings, if they have a good team, could be that other wild card team, possibly. But I don't see the Panthers, the Saints, or the Falcons making the playoffs. And that's not me talking shit because, like I said, I've been in that boat. I've been in that scenario. I've been the number 4 team in the NFC South. I've been the number 3 team. You know, I've been the number 2 team that hasn't made it, you know, to the NFC South, going to the wild card or the playoffs. It's just facts. You just look at the rosters and you look at the schedule. You look at everything that's transpired within the last couple of weeks. It's not looking good. It's not looking good at all. Let's see here. Ryan Strick says, Young Nola, what's your Saints record prediction? So this is a trick by Ryan Strick to see if Young Nola is an idiot, biased, stupid, on drugs, drunk, or just definitely a super biased fan that may or may not know football. So we'll get to the answer here in a little bit. Let's see here. We are definitely built different. You are. And here is young Nola. Drum roll, please. He says, what's the record going to be? And this is from a Chiefs fan. And Ryan Strick, young Nola says 13-5. So a little bit of that is trolling, because I know you're not that stupid to think that you're going to win 13 games, because you're not going to win more than Tampa Bay. But it's not looking good, my guy. Tampa Bay might not even win that many games. Okay? Tampa Bay might not win that many games. Come on, my guy. And it's 17 games. Okay? So he used to be like 10-6, 11-5. All right. So it would be like 12-5 instead of 12-4. So you're already fucked up there with a 13. So you're on friendship probation right there for getting the number wrong. 13-5. Come on, man. I thought you knew football. You need to go back and hit the books, my guy. 13? 13? Come on, my guy. Do your research. Don't you know how many weeks there are and what kind of games that we're going to get? Oh, man. Said, I don't see MT trades happening this year either. MT's cap it, MT's current health issues, etc. And your guy's cap situation is fucked, which obviously Nola has no idea what a cap is. And it's not no cap. All right. It's talking about the cap and the money situation with the Saints. All right. Let's see here. He said, I don't give a fuck what nobody said. I got to see it for myself. That's just ignorant dumb talk, bro. You get people that actually know football like myself. If I say that shit, I talk that shit into existence, that's going to be a lot more credibility than some fucking idiot on Instagram that makes a post and then you believe it. Come on, man. Do your research. I know you ain't stupid. But your team is falling apart, and that's big facts. Bird Gang in the building. What to do? Thoughts on RK Bro? Bird Gang 114 in the building. I saw that he's got a little mustache. They fucked over NXT all completely. Bronson Reed and a lot of these talented guys that they've been bringing up and then they've been letting go. I got Raw on the same as the East Coast feed last week, and then they switched it back to the 8 o'clock Pacific time, so I get it after you guys watch the whole show. I used to get it around 5 o'clock Pacific time, but now it's coming on at 8 o'clock. I love Randy Orton. I think he's a legend. Cowboy Bob Orton, third generation, WWE superstar. Love RK Bro. Matt Riddle is great. I got to, get daps from him before COVID at NXT TakeOver Portland in the front row, going down the aisle as they do their entrances. I got to touch the tag belts that they had at that time with Pete Dunne, which was amazing. RKO, man, Randy Orton. I mean, he's one of those guys that's a legendary figure. We'll have to see where wrestling, the angles go. Definitely not happy with The Fiend. Obviously Bray Wyatt getting released. So I don't really know what the hell WWE is doing, but I'm still going to try to watch as much wrestling as possible. And that's big facts. Message from a Golden Eagle. What up, Ryan and the NWSF? NWSF Chain Gang in the building. Let's get it. But yeah, obviously the big news today, Big Nuts Will Lutz, that core injury that he had. So Amar is going to be the next guy up. But things are starting to fall apart, and maybe Michael Thomas is that cancer in the locker room. And obviously, if you guys saw his tweet earlier today, it was very interesting. I'm not sure. Obviously, I follow a lot of social media. I'm always on Twitter. I'm always everywhere, paying attention to every single team. And Michael Thomas, anytime that he is going to message or it gets retweeted, I'm going to see it on my timeline, depending on what it is. And I'll scroll down to my morning tweets. So if you don't have a Twitter, or if you do, Orion_NWSF, or you go to Northwest Sports Fanatics on Twitter, you follow me, and I retweet all the breaking news. So Michael Thomas had to report that he ignored phone calls for the Saints for 3 months while rehabbing. And he writes in his personal Twitter, they tried to damage your reputation. You saved theirs by not telling your side of the story. So Maybe that's meaning that they said, I don't give a fuck what you want. You're getting surgery and you're getting surgery now. Maybe that's something that Sean Payton said or something of that nature of the organization where they were just like, we paid you $100 million. Shut the fuck up. Get the surgery. And maybe that was, Michael Thomas being like, all right, fuck you. Something shady is going on either with the trainers, with the organization, Sean Payton, Michael Thomas. Obviously, you can tell this is fractured. It's not going to get better. You can already tell it was not good last year. And just because you had a great season in 2019, I'm sorry, and this would go for any Tampa Bay Buccaneer player or any player on any team. You have to have consistency in the NFL to get respect. To get respect from the NFL fans and the NFL circles that watch these games. You can't have one good year and then you're going to be, on top of the world 2 or 3 years after, right? If you're injured or you're not putting up the numbers, you know what I mean? It just doesn't work like that. Maybe it would work if you're like LeBron James. Maybe that would be the only guy that you could say, okay, it's LeBron. But Michael Thomas, even though he's had some good, consistent seasons of 9 touchdowns and he broke that record, I don't think anyone sees him as a top 5 wide receiver, and that's not me talking shit. I mean, ask any fan of any other team other than the Saints, and then you ask him to do a top 5 wide receiver list. Michael Thomas is not on one ballot. Maybe at number 5 on a few people, but I guarantee there's going to be people that will be like, okay, I'll take Mike Evans. I'll take Keenan Allen. I'll take, Diggs. There's going to be other guys that they'd be like, they don't get hurt. They don't cause drama. They're going to be able to put up production, and they're going to take those guys. And that's what it's about. It's about being consistent, like a Mike Evans, and he's going to end up breaking the record 6, 7, 8, 9 seasons of 1,000 yards in a row. Obviously, him and Randy Moss were the only ones that do it, and he's about to break the record this season. It's all about consistency. And that is big facts. All right, here's the realistic Saints fan. Even if we go 9-8, Tess says, considered a really good team considering what we've lost. Exactly. But obviously, knowing Nola, he thinks that the roster is exactly the same from last season. But I definitely see them ticking downwards. And obviously right here, you don't know football, Nola. You think you know football, but it clearly shows that you do not know football because things matter. Coaches matter, depth matters, people that you lose on the roster matters. I mean, you got to understand when you say these type of things, I don't think we go 9-8. We too talented for that. Are you though? Tampa Bay is talented. Kansas City is talented. Green Bay, the Rams, the Bills, the Browns, they're talented because you have depth on both sides of the ball. If I would have said after winning the Super Bowl, Tom Brady's gone, Godwin and Mike Evans are gone, AB and Gronk are gone, Levante David's gone, Devin White's gone, Ndamukong Suh's gone, JPP's gone, and then I say some ridiculous dumb shit like we're going to end up going 13-5, what would you say if I said that? You'd be like, Ryan, you're a fucking idiot. That's what you're looking like. Because there's just no way you're going to lose Drew Brees and all these pieces, Jared Cook, Emmanuel Sanders, Janoris Jenkins, Sheldon Rankins, T-Rex, right? And not have depth on top of that. So if AK-41 gets hurt, Michael Thomas gets hurt again, you're fucked. You're fucked. If Demario Davis goes down, you're fucked. Cameron Jordan goes down, you're fucked. So who's going to come in? You know what I mean? To replace these guys if you get hurt. So, I mean, thinking that you're 9-8, you're too talented. You were talented 4 years ago. All right. In the last 4 years, when you had a Super Bowl caliber team, this is nowhere near what it was in the last 4 years. This is a depleted roster. Look at the facts, look at the numbers, but going, 9-8 or 8-9, that's really what a lot of people are kind of seeing that more than likely is going to happen. You're going to win some, but you're not going to the playoffs. It's not happening, man. You got too much drama in that locker room, and you don't have the right personnel to compete with the big boys. There's going to be a lot of better teams. You got to think. The Panthers might give you a run for their money. You got teams like the Vikings or anyone in the NFC East that'll probably give you a run for your money. And then every team in the NFC West is better. Green Bay's better. Tampa's better. I mean, you have to understand, just because you had the roster the year before doesn't mean it's the same roster now. Think about how dumb I would sound if I said Tom Brady, Gronk, AB, Mike Evans, Godwin, Levante David, Devin White, JPP, Shaq Barrett, Ndamukong Suh. They're no longer there. And I'm coming on here on the live stream saying, yeah, we're going to fucking repeat and go for 2. You'd be like, you're a goddamn idiot. I mean, that's why you have to understand what you're saying, because that's pretty much what you're saying based off your Saints team. That's facts. Hybrid. The Browns can't stop Lamar. Not worried about the Browns and Baker Shitfield. The Browns And Baker will be better. Baker will be better. I think he's going to put up good stats. You go back and look at the last, 5-6 games of the regular season. He was a top 5 quarterback based off statistics. So, completion percentage, touchdown to interception ratio. The real key for the Browns is just being able to stay healthy. And if you can have Odell Beckham and Landry play in December, Odell is known for having great Decembers. And the running game will be great with Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb. Defense will be outstanding. So I think the Ravens can maybe make a wild card, but I still think the Browns are more of a Super Bowl caliber team. Ravens are a team that can make the playoffs, but I don't see them making an AFC championship game, not this year. Michael Pierpont, the players love Sirianni. Don't watch those interviews. Listen to what the players say. Yeah, you can say that now, Michael Pierpont. I get it. But then once you guys end up losing a bunch of games, regardless if you guys get Deshaun Watson or not, and then you end up going 4 or 5 wins back-to-back, you think they're going to still support him? Don't think so. They're going to be looking for that next guy, and that's big facts. Bird Gang 114 says Eagles getting 8 wins. That's if everything goes right. I know a lot of the CBS sports, outlets, they said 2 or 3 wins. I think that's a little low, but you got to think Washington football team's got the most balance. So they're primed to win. It seems like, somewhere between that 9 and 11 range. The Dallas Cowboys, depending on if they can stay healthy with Dak. If they stay healthy with Dak all year, 9 to 11 wins would be doable. If Dak does not stay healthy, obviously you're looking at 8 wins or less, right? The New York Football Giants look like they could be a team that could win 7 to 10 games. Depending on how good Danny Dimes plays. And as far as the Eagles are concerned, I have to put them at the bottom for now, all right, just based off the roster and based off the depth and the injuries. I got to be able to see them really get out there and do it. They might be able to steal some games from the Giants and the Cowboys and the Washington football team, facts, you know what I mean? But for the Eagles to be able to get to that 8, 9, 10 win range, you're going to have to probably go like 4-2 in the division. And I don't know if you can go 4-2 with the roster that you have now. Now, after next year's draft, when you get those first rounders, if you don't trade for, Deshaun Watson, and then you get the second rounder for Wentz, and you get guys like Kayvon Thibodeau, and you keep beefing up that defense, get some more weapons at wide receiver, keep beefing up the overall roster, then obviously I know the Eagles are going to be better, and they won't be sitting in possible 3rd or 4th place. Is it possible that the Eagles end up winning the division or getting a wild card? Of course it is. But I just think based on the roster, Danny Dimes is the question mark. Dak and the defense for Dallas is the question mark. I don't know if Washington really has a question mark. You got Fitzmagic, Antonio Gibson, Scary Terry McLaurin, Curtis Samuel, Riverboat Ron, Chase Young, arguably the best defensive line besides the Buccaneers, in my opinion, or maybe the Rams. You got lots of talent, all over the field. Logan Thomas at tight end, underrated. So, you got a lot of guys, but based off roster and everything I see, and this is not me just trying to shit on the team, but it just doesn't seem like it's a playoff team to me. I hope you guys end up getting wins, but realistically, I'm thinking like 4 to 8 wins for the Philadelphia Eagles. 8 might be the maximum. And obviously if you get above 8, that means something happened to Danny Dimes or Ryan Fitzmagic or Dak got hurt, and maybe you took advantage of that. But I think the only way you get past 7 or 8 wins is big injuries that happen to the other teams in the NFC East. And I don't want to prey, on other teams getting hurt. So not saying that we are going 9-8, saying that if we do with what we lost, consider it a good season, but he doesn't understand what that means, Tess. This is not a normal football fan. All right. This is rapper. All right. / dream maker, dream taker. All right. This is aspiring rapper, sometimes ignorant, sometimes incredibly biased. He doesn't understand. That does not compute. All right. Everything that I said about not having Tom Brady and all those people, he just doesn't understand. So obviously you can still be a Saints fan and have realistic expectations. Just because, you're a Saints fan and you say, hey, we're probably going to finish, 2nd or 3rd or 4th in the NFC South. That doesn't mean that you're giving up on the team and that you are a hater and then you're not a true fan. What it shows you is that you're actually intelligent and you know what your roster is and you can have realistic expectations instead of saying dumb shit like you're going to go 13-5, because no one on fucking planet Earth thinks that the Saints are going 13-5. You think you're going to have a better record than the Buccaneers. That's not going to fucking happen. And I almost want to say it's trolling, but with him, it's not. He really thinks that they're going to win that many games, which is incredibly sad. Lay off the drugs, lay off the drinking. The Saints are not winning 13 games this year. There is a chance and a possibility if Sean Payton coaches the team up and the rookies play good like Peyton Turner, that you guys somehow, some way squeak out maybe 10 wins. But I mean, that's talking about everyone gets hurt on Tampa. CMC gets hurt. Matt Ryan goes down. You guys end up stealing a few close games with some of the other teams in the NFC, AFC. Everything goes right, but with no Onyemata, no Michael Thomas, no Emmanuel Sanders, very limited depth at wide receiver. And you got to think, if anyone goes down, AK-41 goes down, Murray goes down, Michael Thomas comes back from the injury, goes down, Will Lutz comes back, injury goes down, Cameron Jordan, Demario Davis, Lattimore. If these guys go down, you don't really have significant replacements on the bench to take that role. That's what worries me. At least with Tampa Bay, if I have O.J. Howard, he gets hurt, cool. I got Cameron Brate. Cameron Brate goes down, cool. I got Gronk. Mike Evans goes down, cool. I got fucking Chris Godwin. Godwin goes down, boom. I got A.B. A.B. goes down, I got Scooter. Scotty Miller, boom. He goes down, then I got Tyler Johnson. Then I got Durden. I mean, what I'm saying? You got to think there's a reason why Tampa Bay has got the best depth at wide receiver and tight end. So that way, if guys get hurt, you have other guys that can fill in and you can stay afloat. At this point, you don't have anyone to fill in. You're throwing guys that are third string, fourth string, fifth string on the wide receiving core. And if they get hurt, then you're going to be pulling in Eagles and getting guys off the street. Like Ward and some of the wide receivers that they brought on actually had some successful, Fulgham, Ward. They actually had some good games, for the Eagles last season. But that's a big drop off from some of the regulars, if you can get some good talent out there. And that's big facts. Pierpont says Eagles won't get over 6 win with Hurts at quarterback. Bird gang. I don't know. I mean, that's depending on what your fan base, perspective is. I mean, obviously you're a hater, obviously to a certain degree of Hurts. You don't like him. You probably are more of a Carson Wentz kind of guy. You know what I mean? You kind of like that situation better. A lot of people that when you had Carson, you said Dak sucks, Carson's better. And then sometimes you got to be careful on what you wish for and what you say, because now you got a Dak 2.0 in Jalen Hurts. I think Jalen Hurts can be a top 10 quarterback fantasy player. I think he's going to be able to stretch plays. That's one thing that you do have going for him. So if the offensive line stays healthy and Miles Sanders has a good year, Goddard and Ertz can get theirs. Devontae Smith's got to do his job. But obviously, if you have a good, strong running game and O-line, Hurts' numbers will be better. All right. But it's almost like Eagles fans are anticipating the offensive line getting banged up, Sanders getting hurt. Who knows if Goddard or Ertz will stay healthy. It's like you guys are almost anticipating it crumbling and Hurts is going to struggle. Remember who you guys have on your offensive line. When the offensive line is healthy, you guys got a top 10 offensive line. If all the guys are all running on full cylinders, you could argue top 5 offensive line. I mean, they said my offensive line was one of the worst in the league. Now I have a top 5 offensive line. They said my secondary was 32 out of 32 last season. I think right now, we got a top 15, top 10 secondary. So, I mean, you can progress, but you got to be able to build that continuity and that chemistry, and you got to be able to stay healthy. And that was really the big problem for the Eagles last year. Injuries. And that's big facts. Sirianni isn't Doug Peterson soft on players. He's letting them know. Sanders be dropping and fumbling a lot so far in practices. I get it. A message from a Golden Eagle. But the thing is sometimes if you get a Joe Judge or a Sirianni, a serious guy, or an MCDC, Dan Campbell, and you're fucking yelling, and you're in their face all the time, that's not going to work well with all players. Sometimes you can be a player's coach like a Tony Dungy. Sometimes you got to be a yeller like John Gruden, but not all guys have the same kind of personality. You have to be able to relate to quiet guys that are humble, guys that are shit talkers, guys that are cocky, guys that are me guys like Michael Thomas. You need to be able to work with all the different personalities, and the great coaches find that even balance between each guy to be able to manage those different type of personalities. I just don't know if Sirianni, and I'm not saying that if Doug Peterson was there, you're going to win more games. I just think right now you guys are kind of in a rebuilding mode. Obviously, you're going to have to get some more youth on the offensive line. All right, you need more wide receivers. Tight end position right now, you obviously have Goddard, the man. Ertz wants out, right? Defense needs a whole new overhaul. I mean, yes, I know you got Fletcher Cox and Big Play Slay, Derek Barnett. You got some guys, right? But, I mean, you could definitely use more depth on the D-line, the linebacker, the secondary position. There's definitely could be some depth, especially when you look at the Washington football team, Dallas, and the Giants, what they have available to them on their offensive squads. I mean, if you're an Eagle fan, do you feel comfortable that you're going to be able to stop that Washington offense with Ryan Fitzmagic? I don't think so. Dak, if he's rolling with Gallup, Zeke, right? Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb, my favorite. I mean, it doesn't look good. And then if Danny Dimes actually starts rolling, with Kenny Galladay, even though with the hamstring, and Kadarius Toney and all the different pieces that they brought in with the Saquon Barkley getting off the PUP list. I mean, there is a reason why a lot of them have projected the Eagles at last place. It's not that they're hating. It's just they're looking at the roster kind of like the Saints, where if you lost guys or you don't have the depth, there's a reason why other teams have gone up. And based off the draft or free agency, and other guys and other teams have slid backwards. That's just facts. So let them know, Tess. Drop a super chat. Do a Cash App donation to your boy. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that fucking like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can. You can do it at the Cash App, $, just like Tess said, ORIONNWSF, or you can do it on the YouTube Super Chat. It'd be greatly appreciated. And if you're looking for merch, Northwest Sports Fanatic merch, link is below every video on the YouTube page. Follow me, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, at NW Sports Fanatics. Right here, let's see, hybrid. If AK goes down, it's over for the Saints. It might already be over. It's a little premature. We don't want to say that because I want to see Sean Payton prove that he is a legitimate top 5, top 10 coach. And if he can somehow find a way to get to the playoffs with this team, then undoubtedly you have to be able to raise his hand up as tag team champion of the world. You have to give him the recognition then. So if you're a hater of Sean Payton, sometimes I think he makes questionable play calls. But bottom line, if you look at the teams, the roster, his history with the Dallas Cowboys, and his, the coaching tree, he is a Hall of Fame coach. Facts. He is one of the best in the NFL. Facts. I'm a Buccaneer fan, so I don't need to shit on him just because he's on the Saints. I don't do that. I'm not immature. All right. But again, if AK goes down, you still have Latavius Murray, so you can still stay afloat. But if anything goes down with those running backs, and then you got to go to the 3rd string, 4th string, or try to find someone, the wide receiving core and the tight end position is kind of thin already. It's not looking good. At least you got a defense with a few holes. Offensive line is strong. Peyton's there. So, at least you got the head coach, the O-line, and the defense for the most part. And you got AK-41, a top 5 running back in the league that gets disrespected week in and week out. My favorite running back in the NFL. And yes, I am a Tampa Bay Buccaneer fan, but I recognize greatness. I recognize talent. And I gave him the nickname AK-41, the alien. He is out of this world. Facts. Bird Gang 114. Watson would make us a playoff team. Yes, he would, but if he's suspended for all 2022 or goes to jail, is it worth it? Is it worth it to sell your whole future for a guy that might be a sexual predator? We don't really know what's going on. If it was 1 or 2 girls that was, making these accusations, then we need to get all the facts. But when you get 20, some are doing it for money, some are doing it for clout. But if you have over 20 females, that's not a good look. Because even if it's 1 girl out of 20, which we know it's probably more than likely more than that. I don't know if it's half or how many percentage is telling the truth. But if you have over 20, that's not a good look. You know what I mean? So, if you want to be able to win games and try to go to the playoffs and win a Super Bowl with a criminal, doing those types of things, to the females that are out there that are in that industry, for massage therapists and anyone that's in that medical field, that's not a good look. It all depends on if you just care about W's and Super Bowls, or you care about who's representing your organization, your city, your team, and everyone that's been a fan for Philly. So, I think going for a player that's guilty, if that's the case, I wouldn't want that on my team. What kind of message is that showing your fan base? That's like pretty much you don't give a shit about anything besides winning. You'll do what you're turning into like a Bill Belichick, whatever it takes, cheating, whatever. This guy's a criminal, whatever. We don't care. He's number 4 quarterback in the NFL. Great arm. Fuck it. Who cares if he's a criminal? Come on over to Philly and let's get another Super Bowl. I don't think a lot of people, I know some of them probably would be like, fuck it, I don't care. You know what I mean? Let's just get him and let's try to win a Super Bowl. But I don't think getting him is going to make your team Super Bowl contenders. You might be able to make the playoffs with Watson, but I don't think that you're going to be able to make an NFC championship game right away, depending on when he gets traded to the team. It takes time to build that continuity and that chemistry. Is he a top 4 quarterback in the league? Yes. And we don't want to crucify this guy and say that he's guilty immediately right now or not guilty. But all I'm saying is if you got over 20 people accusing you, some are telling the lie, some are obviously trying to get money, some are trying to do it for clout. But there's got to be some out of those 20 that have come out that are telling the truth. And that is not a good look for Deshaun Watson. So you trade away a couple first rounders, 2 this year, 1 next year, the second rounder for Carson Wentz. Think about the picks that you could get and build with that. Another stud O lineman, maybe a Kayvon Thibodeau from Oregon, maybe another guy to line up next to Fletcher Cox, maybe another stud wide receiver like an Elijah Moore clone that's in the Jets. That's going to make the team have more long-term success if you roll with a Jalen Hurts rather than just try to get a Watson and then go that route. That's just my personal feeling. I wouldn't want Watson on my team. I mean, and I'm being very honest, with Tampa Bay, even if I didn't have Brady and I wanted to go to the playoffs, won a Super Bowl a few years ago like you did, I just wouldn't want a guy that's going to be a distraction. You want to be able to, if he's found not guilty or whatever, then boom, go ahead and do the trade. But I think that obviously with everything with Zeke and his problems off the field, he got suspended 4 to 6 games a couple years ago, and this was way worse, obviously, based on some of the shit that he did. So I'm thinking that if you trade for him this season, he'll play 2021, but he'll be suspended for all of 2022. And then who knows if he'll do jail time or have a lawyer or what, depending on how bad, the facts that do come out. But it's not looking good. I mean, at this point with 20 plus women, that's just all I'm saying. I don't think I would want that. I want to see you guys grow internally, not take the cheat mode and put in the cheat code and just try to get the guy. I would rather have you guys build it from the ground up. It's going to mean a lot more once you guys get to the Super Bowl again. And that's big facts. Seth Warner in the building. Yo, what it do, Orion? What up, homie? Question, what do you think Greg Newsome's ceiling is? Love him. Like I said, every player on the Browns, offense and defense, I love. I'm not really big on Odell, though, or Jarvis Landry or Baker, but I do understand with an amazing O-line, Stefanski, Chubb, and Kareem Hunt, even though Njoku didn't want to be there, I know this team can make an AFC championship game, and they're the biggest threat to Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. As far as defense is concerned, I mean, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, John Johnson III at safety is already bringing in leadership. Troy Hill from the Rams also was there. You got Clowney. I don't expect anything from him, but anything that he gives you is a plus. Obviously with Myles Garrett, one of my favorite defensive players in the league. I mean, literally every single player, and then I'm not even mentioning Denzel Ward or Delpit from LSU that got hurt. I mean, Jesus Christ, this team is fucking loaded for the future. I love this defense. If I could swap my defense for any other defense right now, it would be hard for me to press. The Rams got some great defensive players. Washington football team's got the great D-line. But if I had to swap my defense for any other team's defense, it would be the Cleveland Browns. I really like their defense a lot, and that's why I think that they have a legitimate shot to make a Super Bowl this year. Definitely make an AFC championship game run, but they're really going to have to be able to maintain the clock, win the battle in the trenches, running the ball effectively, and getting to Patrick Mahomes if they stand any chance of being able to beat a team like that, which is almost unbeatable. Still, I think the Bucs and the Chiefs are the 2 best teams in football, and I think more than likely they're going to play each other again in the Super Bowl. But if anyone can come in between that, it's going to be teams like the Browns and the Bills for the Chiefs, and then the Packers, Niners, Rams, possibly against my Bucs in the NFC. I love Greg Newsome. I love the ceiling for all the guys. Anyone on the offense and defense the Browns have been getting, I absolutely love. Look for them to be dominant and be very good for many, many years. Watson makes us a Super Bowl contender if our O-line stays healthy. You can say that. All right, Watson is a good quarterback, but, I mean, if you have Watson with the team that you guys have right now, you could probably win 10, 11 games, right? But I still think Tampa Bay's better. I would take Green Bay, over you guys, even with Watson there, with Rodgers and that success that they've had, right? Then you got to look at any team that's in the NFC that might make it also. Yeah, you could probably beat a Washington or Dallas or the Giants, right? But then you look over to the NFC, depending on when Trey Area gets his opportunity, or Matthew Stafford, or Kyler, or Russell Wilson. And I might have to go almost all of those teams. You know what I mean? I think that you guys have a good roster if Watson was there, but depending on what you have to give up for him and if it's a distraction or not, you could still be a team, but I don't think the team would be able to make an NFC championship game. I still think all the NFC West teams are very solid. Obviously, you got the Packers and you got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You guys can make the playoffs, but I just don't know if you're going to be able to get past a wild card round or the next round. As great as Watson is, I mean, remember, your offensive line does need to stay healthy. You need to get good production from Miles Sanders, right? You got to be able to find a way to get Goddard and Ertz the ball. And obviously, the defense is aging. They're a little bit older, and I want to see if they're going to be productive as they were. They're not the same defense from 3-4 years ago in your Super Bowl run, and that's big facts. And that's not me, shitting on him. I mean, Deshaun Watson is a top 4 quarterback in the league, but as you know, it takes time in most cases, unless you're a weirdo like Tom Brady who can put it all together. But I just don't think Deshaun Watson has the same type of dedication as a Tom Brady, calling the receivers, meeting them at, like a middle school, going through, different Zoom calls, when they're not in practice. You certain guys like Peyton Manning and the Tom Bradys and, the Drew Brees, the preparation that these guys put into the game and the connection that they had with their guys is different than a lot of these other guys that are out there. I'm not saying that Deshaun Watson's immature, but I just don't think that he's got the same type of dedication as some of these other elite quarterbacks. Yes, he is a top 4 quarterback in my eyes, but you're getting other guys that are creeping up on that position, especially if Watson doesn't play. You're going to get guys like Josh Allen possibly surpassing him, Justin Herbert possibly surpassing him, Kyler Murray possibly surpassing him, Lamar Jackson possibly surpassing him. So, you need to get out there. I mean, Deshaun Watson will still always be known as a top 10 quarterback, but to be top 5, I mean, you got to be able to get out there and get it done. And I don't know. It just sounds like he's going to be due for jail time, suspension. It's not looking too good. I want him to play, but like I said, I want you guys to be able to earn it. I don't want you guys to take the easy way out. But, I mean, it all depends if you guys are okay with having someone like that represent your squad. It all depends if he's innocent or if he's guilty. But for me, it's just not a good look. Not a good look. All right. A lot of people are on here. All right. And I'm going to try to get through everyone as much as possible. Let's see here. Let me see here. It won't even let me go back to the top. You guys are commenting so fucking much. So let me try to go through as many as I can. Let's see here. Nola, talking shit to the other Saints fans. See, this is another thing right here. It shows your immaturity as a fan. And you're my boy. I talk to you like every day. But just because the Saints fans and me and other people are realistic and understand that your team is not as good, that doesn't make you not as much of a fan as someone like you. If you're someone that's delirious, that doesn't know football, and you're thinking you're going to win 13 games after you've lost all your players and you have injuries, it means that you don't know football. You don't know football. Just because you play Madden every day doesn't mean that you know the ins and outs of how to run an organization and how to win games and what makes a team good and what makes a team bad. You know what I mean? There's a lot of X's and O's, all right? So they're not soft for not believing in their team. It's just the realistic nature of the beast that when you lose a Hall of Fame quarterback and a lot of other guys, and they know that, hey, maybe we won't make the playoffs, maybe we won't be that good. That doesn't mean that they're not a fan anymore. That just means having realistic expectations. Your ass needs to go back to school, my guy. I don't know what's going on with that GED or diploma. You might need to go back, all right? You need to learn your ABC 1, 2, 3s, Nola, because it's not looking good for you in the chat, my guy. It is not looking good. And here we go. Someone that does know football, nah, they just real. And that's really what it is. Another one right here. MT regress, not top 3. Not even close. Not even close. Right now, if I had to put him in a ranking level, I'm sitting him somewhere between maybe 8 or 9 in the top 10 list. And that's kind of trending downwards. And it's not looking too good. Here's another Saints fan trying to put you in your place. Not soft. Realistic. It takes logic and critical thinking for those things to occur. Nola has no idea what that means. Let him get a dictionary and look what that means. Logic and critical thinking does not know what that means. Give him some time to get into the dictionary. I know he studies the dictionary for his rapping, but obviously you need to take another step and understand what logic and critical thinking is for your Saints. Like I said, it's like me not having Tom Brady, Mike Evans, Godwin, Gronk, AB, Devin White, JPP, Shaq Barrett, Ndamukong Kong Su, right? And saying, hey, we're going to go for 2 and we're winning the Super Bowl. What would you fucking say to me on the live stream? Say, Orion's a goddamn idiot. That's what you look like right now. It's not possible to win 13 games, win more than Tampa Bay, right, when your team is not even close to what it was last year. Come on, my guy. Read a book. Pick up a book. Come on. Pierpont being realistic right here. He ain't even top 7. I don't think so. I think I put him around 8 or 9. And I'm not trying to hate on him, but obviously he don't want to be on your team no more. He don't want to be there no more. Barack Atlel in the building. He's an Eagles fan for life. Same outlook for this year. Cardinals beat Browns in Super Bowl. 1K bet already in. Well, you better get your money back, my guy, because you're going to lose a lot, because the chances are Tampa Bay and the Chiefs should be in the Super Bowl. And if they're not, one of those 2 teams is going to be in the Super Bowl. There's no way in hell the Cardinals are going to end up beating all those other teams and making it to the Super Bowl. Now, for the Browns, I could definitely see the Browns in the Super Bowl. I could definitely see that outcome. but obviously you would have to have Patrick Mahomes, Kelsey, Kittle. You'd have to have some guys get hurt. But the Cardinals, they're probably like the 6th team in the NFC, based on, who would be able to get there. I would have Tampa 1, Green Bay 2, Niners 3, Rams 4, maybe Seattle or Cardinals 5. I mean, they're not the top team. And I'm not saying that they can't do it, because I definitely think the Cardinals could make an NFC championship game within the next 3 years. I just don't think it's going to be this year. I think they're getting better and better and better, but we need to see Kyler play better football in December. And if they play shitty in mid-November and December, the Seattle Seahawks will take their spot, and the Cardinals will be sitting at home. Michael Pierpont's got the obvious choice, since the Rams and Super Bowl is in LA this year. Rams versus the Chiefs. Chiefs winning it. Yeah, you better hope that, because if it's Bucks versus Chiefs, the Bucks are going to win. And that's big facts. Said Michael, I like that, but I want the rematch versus Tampa. Damn right. Chiefs don't want to play the fucking Rams, right? We want Tampa Bay and Chiefs. We're the 2 best teams in football. That's facts. You either want to see me and Tom Brady lose, or we win, or you want to see the Chiefs be able to, get another, Lombardi for their dynasty. So I'll tell you what, Brute Saint, he said, Donovan Peoples-Jones has more upside from what I've seen. It's good to be able to see a little bit of upside from some of the other guys, especially when you got guys like Big Nuts, Will Lutz with some of those injuries. Definitely a very misfortunate. I just want you to realize the truth, Nola, that will never happen. The most biased, crazy person on planet Earth, young Nola. Saquon Barkley off the pup, ready to go. Orion prediction on his season in 2021. That's a good question. I hope that he stays healthy for the full 2021, but something tells me that he will get banged up. He's just a very aggressive runner. Hopefully he doesn't have season-ending injury, but I think that definitely over 1,000 yards is possible. Double-digit touchdowns is possible, but I don't think he's going to be leading the league in touchdowns. I don't necessarily think he's going to be, the number 1 guy in the NFL, but I am hoping, he has top 3 stats, and he is the guy that leads the Giants to the playoffs. That would be an awesome story, because otherwise, if he goes down, you can't rely on Danny Dimes to do it himself. And that's big facts. Birdman 951 in the building. What's good, fam? What to do? $2.99. Bang! I see you, Birdman. I see you with the donation. It's already way, way down here. So obviously I'll be able to go back to the top. But what's up, brother? I definitely see you. I'll highlight that there. Bang! $3, my boy. Appreciate you, Birdman 951. But I want to go back because, like I said, I don't like to leave anybody hanging. So I want to make sure I go through everyone's different chats. But it looks like there's so many chats going in, I can't keep up with everyone. Bang! $5. Oh, I see you. Now I got to scroll all the way down and go all the way up. The Last Saint. Bang, my guy. Yo, I haven't been here in a while, but as always, I love the show. Saints will be a top 5 team with our defense and either quarterback. Whew. Thank you so much for the $5 donation. But and I know they're not going to be a top 5 team. That is not going to happen. All right. I do hope that you guys can slow down with the injuries. I hope that you guys can patch things up with Michael Thomas. But as you know and I know, the divorce is already going to happen. But like I said, sometimes when it rains, it pours. And like I said, I've been a shitty team from 2008 to 2019. Maybe it's time for the Saints to be finally a shitty team. Not saying you're going to be a shitty team. Maybe you're an average team, but sometimes you're not going to be able to keep that level of greatness up for years and years and years. Usually there's about a 4 to 5 year window, and you got to start over. And that's big facts. Anola, another thing. People on here that's on Mahomes' dick, you're not even a Chiefs fan. Yeah, because he's the best quarterback in football, which is another thing that you failed to realize as well. My guy, man. Just because you play Madden does not make you an NFL expert. Man, you give me like a brain hemorrhage and brain damage every time you come out here. Because the sad thing is, Nola, I talk to you like every day on Instagram and Twitter, right? But sometimes you actually believe the garbage that comes out of the keyboard. When you're doing this like keyboard warrior bullshit, and you're typing this shit, thinking that you're representing the Saints fans. If anything, you're giving the Saints fans a bad name because it makes it look like you're not intelligent and you say dumb shit on the internet. All right. I know you say dumb shit on Instagram because I fucking read your comments on there. All right. And that's why I told you, if you ever want to get signed, you got to stop with the dumb shit comments on Instagram. You got to stop putting your personal thoughts on there. You're never going to get signed as a rapper ever if you're immature like that. All right. Have realistic expectations does not make you any lesser of a fan. All right. I knew my season was over in October in 2008, 2009, 2010 with Josh Freeman. Still didn't make it at 10-6. All right. Every single year up to 2019, I knew that the season was over in October and I was looking forward to the NFL draft. But I'm still a hardcore fan, still would, watch the games. You know what I mean? Just because you had the luxury of being, the top win getter in the regular season the last 4 years, right? That's great. But you got no Super Bowl to show for it. All right. And now you lost a lot of pieces, including Drew Brees, your Hall of Fame quarterback. You're not going to win the same amount of games. You can be optimistic, but have some realistic expectations, my guy. Realistic expectations. And that's another thing of your immaturity right here. Too many people be wishing bad on us. No, it's not wishing bad on the Saints. It's that the facts are right in front of you. Drew Brees is no longer there. Is that wishing bad on you? No, he's fucking retired. He's not there. Jared Cook, not there. All right. Michael Thomas, not there. Onyemata, not there. Janoris Jenkins, not there. All right. Trey Hendrickson, not there. Sheldon Rankins, not there. Don't play with me, boy. Like you actually know more about the Saints than I do. Get out of here with that, man. Do your research. And you guys are in cap hell on top of that. So, and it's not like a lot of people are going to be picking up the phone. Pick up the phone, baby, and trying to get Michael Thomas after this bad attitude stint. You're not talking to the coaches or the organization for 3 months. Who the fuck is going to want to work with someone like that? That's a me player. I don't give a fuck about the stats. Nobody's going to want that in their locker room. And like I said, a couple more injury-prone years, he's going to go out of the top 10, then be top 20, and then people aren't really going to want to fuck with him. If you're a shit talker, at some point you're going to get crucified for it. Why do you think T.O. didn't get in? First ballot Hall of Fame. Based off his numbers, he should have, but he was kind of a punk bitch. All right, and if you're a punk bitch to people when you're playing, after you're done playing or you're not on a team, people remember that shit. People keep the receipts. All right. That's facts. So it's not wishing bad. It's just people stating facts. That's what it is. All right. Me saying Drew Brees isn't there is me not saying I'm wishing that you guys lose every game. That's just the bottom line facts that Tampa Bay retired Drew Brees. All right. Understand that. Okay. That's facts. And then here we go. Ryan Trick said, Nola, you ain't stuck with your team through the shit years. You always had good teams since you've been a fan. That's facts. And you ain't ready to accept that this ain't a good year. Exactly. You know what I mean? Like I said, I've had games and, where I've lost 40-0. I've had seasons where we've only won a couple games and lost all of them, doing 2-14, 3-13. You don't even know what the fuck that's about. You know what I mean? All these fans sometimes just get, fucking jaded. They get fucking, just stuck, in this dream world that you're the New England Patriots and you're just winning games. And all of a sudden, once you have a bad year like New England did last year, they don't know how to react. It's like, dude, you take your team for granted sometimes. And you got to realize that you're not going to be great forever. Let them know, Birdman. Smash that fucking like button. And I apologize. I haven't been able to get to everyone. I'm trying to go as quick as possible, but I'm just trying to go through as many of the comments because, that's what I do. I don't like to leave people behind. You guys sometimes are like keyboard warriors, and I try to, keep up as much as possible. But then sometimes when Nola says dumb shit, I have to call it out because, like I said, I know I'm not the only one out there that thinks that, you got to have realistic expectations. That doesn't take anything away from your fanhood. I hoped, Tampa would win games with Jameis, but did I think that we were ever going to the Super Bowl with him? Fuck no. I knew he was shitty. I didn't have the right coaching staff. I didn't have the right depth. I didn't have the right pieces to be a contender. I knew this, And when your team is good, you know it. Like right now, Tampa Bay and the Chiefs are the two best teams in football, period. I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to fucking see that, but I guess sometimes people can't see it. Tess, find a chair. You're going to cry hard when Kamish takes Laddie out of the game halfway through the season. Prepare yourself. It's going to be interesting. Michael Thomas getting benched for the rest of the year. You better pray AK-41 doesn't want out or if he leaves because you say that that's your favorite player, Nola. What happens if he ends up turning sour? Then you're just going to talk shit like you did to Jared Cook and get banned on Instagram? You know what I mean? True fans don't talk shit about their guys, and they support them even when they go somewhere else. Even if it was unless it's a Jameis Winston scenario, then I got a reason why I don't like him. All right. You know what I mean? That was a wasted number one pick. But even if I would have got Marcus Mariota, he still wasn't good enough to take Tampa to where I needed to go. And I know that. So I'm not just being this biased Oregon fan that would be like, oh, if we had Mariota instead of Jameis, we would have won the Super Bowl. No, there's a reason why that Mariota is a backup right now. But I still think Mariota has potential that if he went to the right team like New England, he could revitalize his career kind of like a Ryan Tannehill. I still think he's got a little bit of game left. As far as like Wentz and Jared Goff, I don't know. their careers might be over after this season. Goff might get replaced more than likely. And obviously with Jameis Winston, if you have a bad year, you're never going to start for any other football team for the rest of your career, period. This is your chance. If you fuck it up and based on the roster, it looks like there's a high possibility of not a lot of wins, you will never see Jameis Winston start in this league ever again. And that's not hating. That's just facts. You play bad, they're going to be like, oh, you got LASIK surgery and you played worse. You can still throw the football, but bottom line, it's not about the 30 touchdowns or the 5,000 yards. It's the 30 interceptions. You know what I mean? It's about being able to protect the football, not fumble, convert on third down, and not throw pick sixes. And that's facts. All right, here we go. Young Nola with some more immaturity. Tess, who is a Saints fan? That shit you talking irrelevant to me. You need to pick up a book and a dictionary to understand what's actually being said. Come on, Nola. Come on, Tess. I mean, it's like talking to a rock with Nola sometimes. Nola does not understand. See, even Brute Saint knows. I mean, every single Saints person in the building understands except for you, Nola. If you want to get some of your immature buddies to hop on so that they can take your side, go well ahead. But, hey, I'm just trying to give you proper expectations. Yeah. So Nola going to abandon the Saints after a down year. Book it. Real fans don't abandon their team. That's facts. Oh, Nola. Bird Gang. 114. We got better. Anthony Harris, Mills, Nelson, Jaquette, Wilson. Right, Kerrigan. I get it, Bird Gang. But look at the rest of the squads in the NFC East. It's like not being biased. Look at it from an outsider's point of view, from someone that's not in the NFC East. The Cowboys got the best offense. They got Dan Quinn. They got Micah Parsons, DeMarcus Lawrence. Defense was horrible. Micah Parsons is a stud. We can tell he might be a Pro Bowler year one, right? But we don't know if that defense is going to be horrible, worst of all time, bad, or average. But Dallas has got to be one of those teams. If Dak stays healthy, that offense is the best offense in the NFC East. Washington has the most balance on offense, defense, overall on the package. Ryan Fitzmagic, Antonio Gibson, Logan Thomas, Curtis Samuel, Scary Terry McLaurin. I mean, you got weapons there, all right? Ryan Fitzmagic can probably make the playoffs with that roster, first time in his career. And then you got guys like Chase Young and all the amazing defensive pieces from Alabama. Enough said. You got the Giants. You got a great offense and a great defense. If Saquon can stay healthy, the only question mark is Danny Dimes. So, yes, you got better, but if you look at your roster compared to the Giants roster minus Danny Dimes, Dallas's roster with Dak and everyone that's in it, as well as the Washington football team's roster, your roster is the thinnest. I mean, at this point, I think the offensive line is amazing when they stay healthy. I love Brooks. I love Lane Johnson. I love Kelsey. I love Dillard. I love all the guys that you guys have, on the roster. Kelsey and Lane Johnson and Dillard and, you got Brooks. I mean, you got a lot of talent, on the roster. I like Miles Sanders. I like Dallas Goedert. I like Zach Ertz, but I like Jalen Hurts. But Fletcher Cox and Big Play Slay, I mean, the defense is getting older. I mean, at least we agree to that the defense is getting older and a lot of the guys have been getting banged up. So we'll see on how it goes. But also, like I told you, like the Saints, if you guys have a bad year, right, and then you don't trade for Deshaun Watson, but then you cash in and hit on your draft picks next year and the year after, then you might be able to take 2 steps backwards to go 10 steps forward and then maybe start winning the NFC East, or getting a wild card and then being a pretty good football team for a couple consecutive years. You know what I mean? So it's not always bad to have a bad season. Also, you have a bad season next year after you get all those draft picks, those first rounders and those second rounders, you're playing on a last place schedule. You play on a last place schedule, kind of like a Niners, then you can end up making the playoffs almost by default if you can stay healthy. So you see what I'm saying? So sometimes having a bad year and getting a third place or fourth place schedule, and then you get a great draft to come in, great free agents, maybe you guys stay healthy, and then you're right back in the mix. So I do agree that you got better, but I still think that your guys' roster right now, you're kind of sitting in that third or fourth place, window in the NFC East. But anyone can win the NFC East. We know this. And typically the same team in the NFC East doesn't win back-to-back. It's very rare. I mean, I've been following the NFC East, since I was a little kid. I know how it goes. It's very rare for a team to win it one year to win it again. I mean, you guys are very competitive. You beat each other up. I just want to see a little bit more depth out of the roster. I'm hoping that you guys have a good year, but I'm telling you, just like the Saints and the Eagles, if you guys have a bad year, all right, it's not a bad thing, especially if you hit on the draft picks and hit on the schedule and also hit on the future players that possibly want to come in. That's going to do you more long-term success. Stop thinking short-term for this year and think long-term. Think 2, 3, 4 years down the road where you're trying to get. That's just kind of how I picture things in Tampa Bay and other teams as well. Amber in the building. Say, well, it seems like I joined at a heated time. Well, if Nola's talking, yeah, it's not bad. Just realistic talk. That's facts. Let him know, Tess. Let him know. And like I said, I've been one of the biggest Saints supporters from day one since I started the channel. I've been recording, since 2012, YouTube since 2017. You guys have had amazing teams and amazing players. And just because I say something that you don't agree with, but is true, that's on you. You know what I mean? I'm stating just the bottom line facts that, other maybe shows or podcasts don't want to say, but if Tampa Bay was in the same situation as the Saints, do you think that I would be saying, oh, we're going to go to the Super Bowl? No. I mean, if I lost a lot of pieces and I'm hurt and banged up, I know, how far my team has to go, the possibility of getting to the playoffs, NFC Championship game, Super Bowl, or just being a garbage team and then having to rebuild. Toby. Jags are going 11-6, making the playoffs. No. See, you're another homer of your Jacksonville Jaguars. You know you're not going to go to the playoffs. 11-6 is not going to happen. I do hope that you guys have a great season, and this is just me being real. But the Tennessee Titans are winning the division. The only thing that you can hope for is the Colts don't pick up Marcus Mariota, Nick Foles, or Gardner Minshew. The Texans will be the worst team, so there's a chance that you can get second place. But I definitely do not think you're going to go 11-6. You got to give Trevor Lawrence a little time to be able to get acclimated with the offense. And remember, Trevor Lawrence isn't a guy that every time he went to the BCS championship game, he won. A lot of times when he played good competition, he struggled. All right, so yes, I know he's the number one pick in the draft, and you got Zach Wilson and Justin Fields and Mac Jones. I like Trey Lance the best. But, Trevor Lawrence is probably in the second best situation besides Trey Lance being on the Niners or maybe Justin Fields in Chicago. But they're not going 11-6. Kind of pump the brakes a little bit. All right. Try to at least, have a decent season. I would say a realistic goal for them is 8 or 9 wins. You know what I mean? That's a realistic goal in year one. And then you might not be able to hit that. Realistically, you might end up winning 4 to 7 games. But if you end up winning 8 or 9, that's an amazing start. And then you can build off that the next year. But 11-6, that Tampa Bay might not even go 11-6. And you guys are nowhere near fucking my team. You know what I mean? You got a lot of unproven players, but obviously ETN is nice. Trevor Lawrence is nice. Shark is nice. Robinson at running back is nice. You got a lot of nice pieces on offense and defense, but let's pump the brakes a little bit. Even if you had Blake Bortles back in the day with Leonard Fournette and Lombardi Lenny, and you had Jalen Ramsey and Calais Campbell, even teams like that might not even get to 11-6. So pump the brakes a little bit, my guy. They're not going 11-6. But I think that there is some possibilities of the Jags making the playoffs maybe in the next 4 years. But it also depends on what happens in Houston and the Colts moving forward. Because if the Colts end up getting a decent quarterback anytime soon, you're going to be the third best team in that division for a while. And you just got to pray for injuries to be able to catch up to the Titans, because they are the leaders of the pack in the AFC South. And that's facts. Here's Nola with another ignorant statement. Where's my dog Calvin? A real Saints fan. But he's not dumb and saying dumb shit, like sometimes like you say, bro. He's a Saints fan, just like Brute Sane and Tess and Amber and all the rest. But at least they have a brain, and they know when the team isn't going to be good and when things are snowballing. You just can't, cover your eyes and sweep it under the rug and hear all this bad shit about your team and think that, things aren't going to end up turning out, all peaches and cream. Come on, my guy. Even Calvin knows when the team is going to be good and bad. I swear, you're like the only one, my guy. You and Truly Greens. Truly Greens is in the building now. Now you guys can have some ignorant conversations. Marcos Pineda, my boy, 12th man. Go Hawks. What up, room? Hope everyone is having a nice day. I got to go over and hang out with Marcos Pineda. Appreciate you for the beers and the wings and the hospitality we threw back. a couple shots of Fireball. We did some Modelo's, had a good time. Definitely he'll be in the building for some, Seahawks games, maybe some Ducks and Beavers later on in the year. Expectations, obviously, for Seattle, we know it's either they're going to make the playoffs as the last team in the NFC West with somewhere between probably 9, 10, 11 wins, or they're barely going to miss the playoffs with maybe a 9-8 or 8-9 record, very similar to possibly the New Orleans Saints. Truly Greens, another questionable Saints fan in the building, just like young Nola. Who dot, Quansbach. Yeah, Quan Alexander. But he's injury prone. I've had him on my team. So if you want to take my scraps, go ahead. Demario Davis can be happy all about it, but don't expect Quan Alexander to stay healthy for the full season because he won't. I know him, all right? And that's facts. But at least it gives you a little bit more depth on your roster. And that's facts. Here's a realistic Saints fan, Amber M. Our team might go 8-9, and that's okay. Exactly. It's exactly okay. Damn. I might have to block you, Nola. You give me brain damage. You make everyone in the room dumber. All right. And this is not me trying to be an asshole to you or whatever, because you're my boy. We talk almost every day on Instagram and Twitter. I encourage you. I support you in your rap career. But goddamn, man, think before you speak. You're giving Saints fans a bad name. If other people from other fan bases come in and read what you say, man, you're giving the Saints fan base. They'd be thinking that all you guys are a bunch of Jameis Winstons out there. I mean, if you want to be known as Jameis Winston, keep talking. You want to be a knucklehead, keep talking. But it ain't looking good. It is not looking good. All right? Oh, Bird Gang 114. Watson is innocent until proven guilty. Well, that's coming from someone, it sounds like, that you want him on your roster. And I get it. You want to win games. You want to go to the Super Bowl. But, I mean, let's be realistic. I mean, if you had 20 different females, 20. We're not talking about 2, 20. That's not a good look. And yes, you are innocent until proven guilty, but I don't think I've ever heard someone that has accusations from 20 different people. I mean, the big G for guilty is, I mean, he might not be guilty for all 20. I doubt that. But if you have 20 different people, I mean, it's looking like you guilty, at least on some of those. How many of those? Who knows? But I don't think I've ever seen anyone that's been accused 20 times by 20 different people and they became innocent. I mean, this ain't no O.J. Simpson shit, all right? Not looking good. So if you end up getting them, short-term success this year, but then he could be suspended or go to jail in 2022, I wouldn't do it. I got more respect for my team and my division. I wouldn't want someone like that on my roster, even if he is top 4 quarterback in the league. Amber Ann says, bro, fuck it. Sign Destroying. Hey, I've seen him kick a 50, a 55, a 60. He's a YouTube star. He'll never go to the NFL, but his videos on YouTube are entertaining. He definitely has a good leg. And I know, obviously, that's a troll. But, yeah, you guys are definitely going to need a kicker. It sounds like Marr is going to be the guy, former Dallas Cowboy kicker. But now you have the Michael Thomas drama, divorce. It's going to end up leading to him playing or not playing for you guys this year, getting traded. And now you got Big Nuts Will Lutz. Let's pray for AK-41 and the rest of the team not getting injured. We want to be able to see that happen. Innocent until proven guilty. Okay. So you really think that out of 20 people that are accusing him that he's innocent? Get the fuck out of here. Let's be realistic here. I mean, if it's 1 or 2 people, then yes, definitely innocent until proven guilty. But I mean, 20 plus. So 20 plus people are going to accuse, and then all of them are doing it for clout and for money, and it's all fake. He doesn't seem like that type to be like a criminal or to do things like that. But like I said, sometimes you really don't know someone until things come out, Kind of sounds like to me he's kind of a sexual predator, and that's not good for the ladies and the females that are out there that are trying to earn a living, being masseuses and being massage therapists. And just because maybe he's an NFL quarterback that he thinks that he can do whatever he wants because he's the guy. I mean, not a good look. Don't want that on my organization. And like I said, there's probably a lot of them are telling lies, but I think there's probably some that are telling the truth. You wouldn't have 20 different ladies coming out with that kind of information if it wasn't true. Some of them, at least. Not a good look. Brute saying, as long as I put the same energy while praising my team, I put in the same energy to shitting on my team. Facts. And I do the same thing, Here we go. Another Saints fan. So get some perspective. Speaking the truth is not necessarily speaking badly. Learn the difference. It's called maturation, dude. He doesn't know what that means, Tess. He's 21, 22. He don't understand what that means. He's living the trap life. All right. Trying to be hood, trying to be trap. All right. Let's be mature, my guy. You're going to get a lot more respect from people when you grow up and be mature. Be mature about everything in your life. And that'll also help you get signed too. Being immature, you're never going to get signed. Never. You know, you think you're just going to be ignorant and just be hood your whole entire life and all these great things are going to happen to you? It's not going to happen, my guy. Bird Gang 114. We can't draft. I want a proven quarterback, which is true. You guys have had some issues drafting, but I kind of believe, I'm not really big in Sirianni, but I do believe that if you guys can hit on some of your draft picks like the Dolphins have, you can really turn your franchise around quicker than later. And I believe in Jalen Hurts. I don't think you need to take, the shortcut and get, just the Deshaun Watson. I want you to see you guys get another O lineman, a D lineman presence, another wide receiver, build it. Build it and they will come. You know what I mean? I just think that, yes, you guys have issues drafting and you could have had better receivers than Raygor, but I think I've seen Raygor make some good plays in training camp, a couple one-handed grabs. I follow the Eagles very closely. You know what I mean? And even though that, maybe a guy gets hurt and they consider the B word a bust, let's give it 2-3 years, before we actually throw that B word around. And also it depends on the O-line and the D-line and the coaching. You got to have chemistry. There's a lot of things that go in line to be able to being successful. See, that's another reason why, you don't know football. All right. Out of everyone on planet Earth, who knows football? Who watches the film? So if people are saying all these things, and you know what I mean, and then they come true, right? You know what I mean? What, you just got to be able to see it for your very eyes. You should actually know as a fan, your roster, your situation. This ain't Madden, man. This ain't Madden. You just think that you can go out there and play it like Madden, and then you're just going to be able to win all your games. Come on, my guy. You're giving me brain damage, Nola. Northwest Sports Fanatic merch. Hook it up. NWSF hoodies. Only $34.99. Represent for your boy. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out for extra comedy like me talking to young Nola about the Saints. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button. Donate to your boy. $ORION NWSF on the Cash App or the YouTube Super Chat. Help me get brain surgery because that's probably what I'm going to need with these donations, with all this talking that I'm having to do about young Nola and him not understanding what the NFL is. Sad, 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 my guy. Truly Greens, C.J. Henderson to the Saints. Oh, yeah, they're talking about that, but you're going to need more than that to be successful. They're talking about Shark, Henderson. Michael Thomas is not going in a trade. Obviously, they're going to let him suffer. You're already having a bad relationship with him. He'll be out for the first 6 weeks. Depending on how his conduct is within the first 6 weeks, they'll either bench him or play him. More than likely, he'll get hurt and re-aggravate the injury, or he'll get benched for misconduct, and then that'll be the end of Michael Thomas, MT13 in NO, LA, Nolans, and then you'll have to try to get the best draft capital in return, which is probably only going to be a second or third rounder at that point after all this. Toby, do you think the Jags can make the playoffs? No, not year one. Be patient. You just got Trevor Lawrence, all right? If you're the worst team in the league, you're not going to make the playoffs year one. I mean, it's not impossible, but have realistic expectations, my guy. It takes time. It takes time. Don't try to put Truly and Calvin in the same boat as you. Say Truly and Calvin are the only Saints fan in here who really ride for the Saints like I do. No, which means that you know nothing about the Saints, nothing about football. You don't have realistic expectations. Talking shit to Jared Cook and getting blocked on Instagram, that's not being a fan. It's being ratchet. Stop being ratchet, my guy. You're just being a ratchet hood fan. Stop that. Be hardcore. You don't even know what it's like to lose. You don't even know what it's like to have a 3-13 season or a 3-14 season. You don't even know. You know what I mean? You don't even have the patience to deal with the team with the roster that you have now. What are you going to do if they end up having like 5 straight years of 5 straight wins? You'd probably stop watching. That's not a fan, bro. That's not a fan. The last Saint, Bucks offense won't stand a chance against the Saints secondary revamped under Chris Richard. The division will be ours again. That's another no. Not happening. You'll be lucky to split with us this season. You're not making the playoffs. 9-8 or 8-9. More than likely the scenario. Tampa actually can make a Super Bowl and win it again. We got to be the favored team in the NFC to be able to get there again, returning all 22 starters. So even though you guys won during the regular season, you look at your roster last year and what you have this year, there's no way in hell. I mean, there's a good chance that Tampa sweeps the whole NFC South and we go 6-0. 5-1, 6-0. But I still think that we're going to lose games. Maybe go 11-6. Something of that nature. 12-5. Something of that nature. I know we're going to lose games like 5 or 6 this season, and I'm totally okay with it. But I know we can get hot at the right time. But the last Saint, you're delirious, my guy. You are delirious. Yeah, that's not true fan. So you're saying dumb shit that's not true. That makes you a true fan. Don't worry about it, Tess. Some people you can't get through. You know what I mean? Having unrealistic expectations and being biased does not make you more of a fan than me. Okay? That's facts. Makes you look like an idiot on the internet. So, Orion, do you think Trevor Lawrence can break Herbert's touchdown record? Yes, I love Justin Herbert. I thought the record was amazing. I think Trevor Lawrence is capable of being able to get to that number. Obviously with Justin Fields and Trey Lance, Trey Area, and obviously Mac Jones, they're probably not going to get enough time in there to do it. But Zach Wilson and Trevor Lawrence definitely have a shot to be able to get in there. But I think when Trey Lance does get in there, if he ended up starting week 1, I think that he would have a good shot to be able to get close to that record also, but more than likely they'll probably ease him in week 4, week 5. But I think Trey Lance could start week 1. I think he's that damn good. I think Herbert's better than Trevor Lawrence, but I think Trevor Lawrence definitely could get close to the touchdown record. But I mean, 30 plus touchdowns, 31, that's going to be tough. And like I said, Herbert's going to make the playoffs. Trevor Lawrence is not, but I think Lawrence can end up having a fantastic year. No one rides you. You ride blind. Yeah. They don't understand what it's like to be bad, my guy. Here's another crazy statement by the Saints fans. Truly Greens with another statement that's not true. CD, Lattimore, Poole, and CJ, best secondary in NFL. No, it's not. Do your research. Not even close. Not even close. And you guys are just so crazy, dude. Appreciate you, Tess. Doing the work. Nola, you don't even know who fucking Chris Richard is. You think Chris Richard is fucking Little Richard. You have no goddamn idea who he is. Get the fuck out of here, man. Do your research. Pick up a book. Orion, Trevor Lawrence will get past Watson. Well, Watson is more of a generational talent than Lawrence. Lawrence needs to go out there and prove it. We already know that, Deshaun Watson is a top 4, top 5 quarterback when he's out on the field. Trevor Lawrence has got to go out there and prove it that he can do it on the NFL field. So, A guy, Raiders. It's funny how fast Kraft's rub and tug got swept under the rug. Exactly. Isn't that kind of funny? Yeah. You know what I mean? You got money, you got power. You know what I mean? It is funny. That's how it goes. That's facts. I'm getting closer and closer here. Getting caught up, but you guys are just firing off questions, and I'm getting brain damage from some of the Saints fans in here. Let's see here. The last Saints winning more than 10 games. Drew Brees lost us games. Yeah, but you don't have Drew Brees, right? Do you want me to go over this again? Why you guys aren't going to win 10 games? You don't have Drew Brees. You don't have Michael Thomas for 5 or 6 games, right? You don't have Onyemata. You don't have Jared Cook. All right, you have no Emmanuel Sanders. You have no second-tier depth at wide receiver. You have guys that you're hoping that are going to come in and produce that are 3rd, 4th string options. All right, you have no T-Rex. You have no Sheldon Rankins. You have no Janoris Jenkins. And then if you get an injury to Demario Davis, Lattimore, or Cameron Jordan, you're fucked. AK-41, you're fucked. You ain't going to win 10 games. It's not happening. Your team is considerably worse than it was in the last 4 years. All right. Your chance was last year, the year before, the year before, and the year before. That was your window. This is not a Super Bowl caliber team anymore. You are in rebuilding mode. You have to get to that point. You are in rebuilding mode. Okay? Every team goes through it. Every team goes through it. The last Saint, Michael Thomas is top 5 wide receiver. Yeah, in 2019, what is the NFL? What have you done for me lately, league? No one thinks he's top 5 anymore. You sound ridiculous. No one thinks he's a top 5 wide receiver except for biased Saints fans. Tampa won't sift the Super Bowl. You know what? See, for little comments like that, I actually hope that we go to the Super Bowl and we win. You know what I mean? We proved you guys wrong last year, all you fucking shit talkers and haters, right? And we found a way to be able to get to the Super Bowl and win. All right. And just because that you guys couldn't get it done in the playoffs, that's on your organization and your coaching staff for nutting up and choking. Reggie Miller style, 4 years in a row. Minneapolis Miracle, the Rams, pass interference call. All right. And then guess what? Minnesota again with the push off with Kyle Rudolph in the red zone. And then you couldn't beat me. You couldn't beat Devin White. You couldn't beat Tom Brady. You beat us twice in the regular season. Couldn't do it when it counted. You don't get awards and you don't get rings for winning during the regular season. So that's facts. I'm going to laugh like hell, though, if we end up going for 2 and winning a Super Bowl. Or if we end up winning a Super Bowl and then going back and winning again. If we end up going for back-to-back or going for a three-peat, I will laugh until the end of time. Just because you're salty and you're jealous, you know what I mean? It's because our fan base is humble, all right? We know when our team is good and when our team is bad. If you end up having this cocky, ignorant personality, for a fan base, good shit ain't going to happen. And you got to think, the coaches, the players, and the fans were always worried about getting screwed, and that's what they were thinking about instead of winning the goddamn game. They're thinking, well, how are we going to get screwed? We're going to get screwed. So if you already think that you're going to lose, you've already lost the game before you stepped on the fucking field the last 4 years in the playoffs. Facts. You got to believe that you're going to win and push that shit behind you, and you guys never were able to do that as an organization, as a coaching staff, players, and a fan base. So, to be honest, it doesn't surprise me that you guys have had that misfortune. The one that I do feel bad about is the Rams pass interference call. I'm not going to just shit on you guys. Obviously you talking shit, all the time to me. All right. But that was the game, right, that you guys had a shot to get to the Super Bowl. But in all reality, if you guys would have played the Pats, there's no guarantee that you would have won the Super Bowl. You could have gotten to that one. All right. But that was the one year that, yes, you guys definitely got screwed. And I won't not acknowledge that. That was one of the worst calls that I've ever seen on planet Earth. Facts. All right. But there's no excuse for the Minneapolis Miracle. There's no excuse for the push off. And there's no excuse for last year. You just got outplayed. Period. Bad play calling and you got outplayed. And the defenses that you went against played better. That's facts. Last Saint is Young Nola's burner. I know it's not because Young Nola has never donated money to me, which is very sad for as much as I support you and your rap career. Not even $1. Not even $1, Young Nola. Not even $1. I'm like your fucking therapist. All right. I'm your emotional support. Right. Not even $1. So no, the Last Saint is not Young Nola because Young Nola spends too much money on fruity drinks and candy instead of hooking your boy up with a donation for all my hard work. So it is not him. Birdman, $3, my boy. Bang, 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 bang. Birdman 951, my boy in the building. Appreciate you very, very much. Trying to scroll through here, through all this gibberish that I have to get through, so I apologize. I haven't been able to go through all of this on here. Oh, God, the brain damage that I get. Uh-oh, we have a celebrity in here. I think Kim Kardashian's in the building. What is going on in here? Dame to Sixers, David Goldstein. Don't say shit like that. We don't want Ben Simmons. He's garbage. We'll keep Dame on our team. All right. We'll keep it just like the way that it is. Let's see here. 9-8 is realistic. Hopefully that's a wild card spot. But yeah, even if you win like 5 to 8 games, that's not a bad year. You gotta crawl before you walk. All right. So be patient with that team. Okay. Quan is injury prone. Come on, Last Saint. Do your research and do your homework. Come on, my guy. Justin Wills in the building. What to do? Here we go. We got a celebrity in the house. Kim Kardashian is in the building. Football sucks. NFL sucks. Interesting. You never know what celebrity will pop up on my stream. We got Skip Bayless. John Cena follows me. I mean, you never know what celebrity is going to hop into the room in the Northwest Sports Fanatics. We got a famous one in the building, the one that's followed by probably more people on planet Earth, except for maybe what? Kylie Jenner? Her and Kim? Celebrities. Don't be going in my DMs. Oh, man. Kim Kardashian. Wow. Interesting. Justin Wills. Oh, shit. Yeah, no leaks about the Kanye album or anything like that. Oh, my God. What is this fucking chat room turn into? Let's see. Brute saying I predicted us going 12-4 last season. We went 12-4. Others predicted 14-2, 15-1. I predict 9-8 this season. Others predict 13-4. Notice a pattern. Yeah, you're realistic. And I think 8-9, 9-8 is right on the money. You know what I mean? There's a little bit of wiggle room to hit 10 wins if everything goes right. But in all reality, 7 to 9 wins is probably where you guys are going to fall. 7 if everything falls apart. 8 or 9 if you have some good moments, and then 10 wins if everything goes right. And Sean Payton is in the running for Coach of the Year, but I just don't know if that was going to happen. Yes, I know. A lot of us, we read a dictionary, we know, and then we look here. Nola is going to be 23, but boy, you act like you're 13 sometimes, my guy. I mean, you got to be better. If you're going to be 23, act 23. Don't act 13. Because I swear to God, man, sometimes you be acting 13 on here. There we go. Here we got another delirious comment from a Saint fan. Saints going 12-5, 13-4. Yeah, you might as well bet all your money that you have, which is probably none, besides the money that you donated to me, which I do appreciate. All right, they ain't going 12-5 or 13-4. Tampa Bay is literally the best team in football, not named the Kansas City Chiefs, and we're probably not going 12-5 or 13-4. You think you're better than Tampa Bay? You're fucking smoking. You're smoking crack. Get off the crack pipe. You ain't winning 12 or 13 games, man. If you truly think that, you know nothing about your own team and nothing about football. And that's not me talking shit. That's just real. Because no one in their right goddamn mind, unless you're just fucking insane or on drugs or like Nola, think that you're going to win 12 or 13 games. Fucking not happening, dude. My God.
We've seen it time and time over his career, make explosive catches, catching runs, and be able to make some plays. So
heartbreaking losses. They stay away from football till preseason, and then we think we the same team. Hey, some of us, and like I said, if you know like me, I mean, I'm 24/7, 365 days, NFL, all 32 teams. I can definitely go toe-to-toe with any Saint fan, even if they've been a Saint fan from the 70s, the 80s, the 90s. I mean, I can go toe-to-toe with the knowledge and obviously with the fandom. I get it. You know what I mean? Just because you're a quote-unquote Saints fan, but if you're not realistic, that doesn't mean that you know more about your team than me. Because obviously I know a lot about all the teams. That's facts, with all the hard work and effort that I put in. Because I doubt a lot of people are reading 5 to 6 hours a day like me, and that's facts. All right, I'm scrolling through. All right, here's another asinine comment, my guy. It's not about being a true fan. I know the team and the schematics. Well, obviously you don't, because they're not winning 12 or 13 games. Schematics. Just like you guys are going to win the Super Bowl and beat us in the playoffs, right? How'd that work out for you?
This defense has to show up. They lost some key pieces. It's going to be interesting to see how they look, to see who steps up in this defense to make some plays for them. Well, I think the thing that also helps is the fact that they have
I mean, if you look at guys like Devin White, Levante David, a lot of the safeties and the corners, I mean, if you get a good connection on the football, then that's coming out. It's facts. Sorry to tell you, Ryan, but it's Carolina time. Not going to be better than Tampa this year. They're going to be better if Run CMC stays healthy. They have a bright future, but it might not be with Sam Darnold. That might be just a temporary Band-Aid. But I do like Carolina. They're trending upwards. Atlanta's going, trying to trend upwards with, Kyle Pitts, but obviously Matt Ryan is on his last leg. Defense is not good. They got a lot of holes. So the Atlanta should be at the bottom, but I definitely see Carolina trending upwards over the Saints at some point. You know what I mean? It all depends on what happens here in the next few years, but I definitely can see Carolina, trending upwards, but I don't think you're on Tampa's level just yet. Shrek says Carolina needs a better O-line. They're young and talented, like the team of the future. Yeah, but there's a lot of other teams that are built right now for long-term success. Browns, Bills, Chargers. You got to understand, if you're looking at certain teams like that, Browns, Bills, right? Kansas City, Tampa, Green Bay. Don't be acting like you're on the same level than some of those teams. Now, if you're a team in the NFC West, then you can say, yeah, we're on that same kind of level. Cardinals, Seattle, Niners, Rams, right? But I mean, if you're in the NFC East, I'm not sure if there's a team that can match up, or the Vikings or any of the other 3 teams in the NFC South. Be realistic. Be realistic, man. Trayvon Dixon, the game is Thursday. Washington football team versus the New England Patriots. We're going through a heat wave here in Oregon, so it's going to be about 97 degrees or higher for the next 5 or 6 days, over 100 starting Wednesday. So it's going to be hot as shit in here. I'll tell you what, but I'm definitely going to keep grinding it out. And I know there's games on Friday and Saturday, Sunday. So I'm going to try to do as many as I can, probably go float the river and hang out with the girlfriend and some friends at some point as well. But obviously I'm going to try to get as much action in preseason as I can. I appreciate that. So I've never been a Shady Brady fan, but I'm happy that Ryan got to see his team win the Lombardi, so he knows what it is to feel like. Well, I got 2. And remember, I was there for John Gruden and obviously Monty Kiffin, when I was in my, late teens, early 20s, and Super Bowl 37. So I got 2. All right. I was born in the early 80s, been watching football since 85. We got that 2002 Super Bowl, all right, against the Raiders, where we got 5 picks on Rich Gannon, which is still a record, 3 pick sixes, all right. And then obviously the Super Bowl last year against 31-9 against the Kansas City Chiefs. So I got 2. All right. I got 2. I know what it feels like. And it's crazy too, because like my boy Swaggy P, as a Colts fan, he's a Peyton Manning guy. He hated Brady. But I mean, when Brady's on Tampa, you're going to root for him and root for me. You know what I mean? For going through all those struggles from 2008 to 2019. And getting to know Brady as a player and how he's respected and how he's made my organization and locker room better overall. Excuse me. I mean, it's great. I mean, not a lot of people are going to like Brady because they're jealous, of the success that he's had. But obviously going to another team and doing it right away, I mean, that really shows a big part of the greatness of Brady, and also great coaching on my behalf on the O-line, the D-line, offensive coordinator, D coordinator, and having the best D coordinator in football, and Todd Bowles. Facts. All right. Please donate me some money so I can get some medicine, some meds for this brain damage that Nola and some of these Saints fans. I mean, there's Brute Saint and Tess and some of the normal ones. But I mean, man, some of the other Saints fans, you guys are La Vida Loca, man. You guys are in some kind of like dream world. Like, this is not Madden. There's no scenario whatsoever where you win 12 or 13 games this year. 0. A 0% chance that it happens. But I mean, if you really feel that way and you're not trolling, then I mean, good for you, but I mean, that shit is not going to happen. And then when it doesn't happen, I can laugh and I'd say, I told you so. New LOB. You got no fucking LOB. Get the fuck out of here, Nola. You're nowhere near having a Legion of Boom. Fuck out of here. Support the fucking channel. All right, we're trying to get to 20,000 subscribers. We're trying to go from 3.4 million views to 4 million. Just depending on Nola's commentary, that should at least account for some comedy in the room day in and day out. All right, so we'll be able to get to that 20,000 subscriber mark, as we get into the few weeks into the season, which will be exciting. I'll be doing another jersey giveaway once we get to that point, which will be very fun. Maybe some NWSF hoodies as well. So I'll be doing that. We'll be doing the Northwest Sports Fanatic Fantasy Football League this season as well. Me and Zini Panini are in since she won the league last year. The champ is here. All right, so we'll have 8 spots open, and I'll end up doing that once we go through the 3rd week in preseason, and I'll let you know. I'll be doing a video. You'll be shooting me your email. I'll do a drawing, and then we'll have 8 lucky individuals to join me and Zini Panini in a 10-man or woman fantasy football league with prizes at the end of the year, besides some smack talk for being the best for the Northwest Sports Fanatic Fantasy Football League. But you better bring your A game, all right? You better not be like some of those fans. We had an Eagle fan last year that was overseas in Germany, and he stopped playing halfway through the season. We can't have that. I can't, even once you start dropping games and getting your ass kicked, and you drafted all Eagles players, and then you just got your ass kicked. Obviously, you did not know how to play fantasy football, but I can't have anybody in our league quit like that. So even if you're sitting in last place, keep it moving, man. Like I said, top 3 are going to make the playoffs, top 4, but don't just quit. I hate when people quit at fantasy football. Then you get like those easy W's. All right, you get those easy W's down the road where the guy's not even playing. So you could have a garbage team and then you're winning by default. Fuck that. I want everyone to earn their wins. And that's big facts.
So it's a special night for the fans to get to come out. They do all the fireworks and all that good stuff for you after. So to come out, see a team, see what they
that is crazy. I definitely want to go to Arrowhead and go to KC and watch a game in person. That's facts. Brute saying that I'm legit interested in this preseason more than any other, just because there's so much question marks. Hopefully it's mostly positive. Of course, especially for your team. Ian Book, what do you got there? Right? Peyton Turner, what do you got there? I know Tom Brady and a lot of the starters are going to be playing week 1. Bruce Arians already said it. So, I mean, a lot of guys are not going to be playing their quarterbacks or their players, even if it's just for a drive or two. Tampa's trying to go for 2. Kansas City's trying to win the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Matthew Stafford and, McVay, or, he doesn't want to get his guy hurt, but don't be surprised at the end of the year if it ends up being Kansas City and Tampa Bay. Just saying. But I definitely am interested in the Saints, backups. The guys that are playing number 2, number 3, number 4 wide receiver, guys that are going to step up into the role while Michael Thomas is gone. I want to be able to see Peyton Turner and the rookies. So, yes, I agree. I'm very interested to see guys in preseason. Sometimes people think that it doesn't matter. I enjoy it. I enjoy every little piece of preseason, just like in that game with the Steelers and the Cowboys. Yes, it was low scoring, but you got to see right away Micah Parsons is going to be a guy that's an all-pro. Micah Parsons will probably be the best defensive player in the draft, not named J.C. Horn. And Micah Parsons will probably win Defensive Rookie of the Year. And Micah Parsons will probably end up being a top 10 linebacker. And Micah Parsons will probably end up, if he can compete and not get hurt, maybe at some point he'll be considered top 5 linebacker. I could see that. I mean, so when you watch guys get fumble recoveries, chase down, guys sideline to sideline, you get a gauge. It's like, I don't even remember, when Russell Wilson played in preseason, when they thought it was going to be Matt Flynn, and you could already tell that he popped off. Kenny Golladay, another guy I remember watching in preseason, and look where his career is at now. So I absolutely love preseason, and I'm looking forward to it as well. Brute Saint. Facts. Toby. Orion, when will the Jags win a Super Bowl? Maybe never. I hope that you guys can at least get to another AFC championship game sooner than later, but you got to look at the rest of the teams that are there, and it's Trevor Lawrence's first year, Urban Meyer's first year, Tebow if he's there. You got to look at your roster and you compare it to the Chiefs, the Browns, the Bills, the Titans, New England, Miami, the Chargers. You're nowhere near that stratosphere yet. All right, those are like playoff teams. So, with that being said, as well as the Ravens. So, I mean, with that being said, it's going to take time to even get to a playoff. And then once you get to the playoffs, you'll probably get bounced in the first round or wild card round. And you got to build and build and build and build like you did with the Blake Bortles year, right? With Bortles and Ramsey and Calais Campbell and Bouye. I mean, Leonard Fournette with Lombardi Lenny. I mean, you're not going to just be able to fabricate a championship team. Look at the depth that Tampa Bay has on my roster for me to get to where I did. You know what I mean? I have the most depth at tight end and wide receiver, and that helped, in that run with Brady not getting hurt, torn MCL the whole year, and I had great depth on defense too. You need that to be able to make a deep run. And you don't have to be the best team in football. You just have to be the hottest team in December. And if you carry that momentum, Uncle Mo, someone call 911. If you can do it and carry that momentum over, go 4-0 in December, sometimes you never look back. And that's what Tampa Bay did. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You are the only Jags fan in there. I'm hoping that you guys have a good season, but don't expect the playoffs, don't expect the playoffs year one. So. Oh, you got Mahomes on one of your fantasy football teams? Nola saying delirious things, and Nola is a creeper. You've already ruined your relationships with all the other Saints fans that are realistic, Nola. There's no going back. All right. There's no going back. You can't be creeping up on the other Saints fans in the building. You already ruined your reputation. All right. You ruined your reputation. No flirting on the channel, my guy. You're getting rejected. Just like Dikembe Mutombo. You trying to go into the hole with a little finger wag. You're getting Mutombo'd every single day. You be talking crazy. Shit, if people saw your picture and saw what you look like, they'd be like, okay, go figure. Nola looks like a guy that would say dumb shit. Giving Orion brain damage every day. My guy. Nola's a creeper. Stop creeping, Nola. All right. Work on reading a dictionary and focusing on your rap career and not saying dumb shit on my live stream. I'm trying to get to 20,000. I'm not trying to lose all my fans. I mean, you definitely are comedy when you come in because you say dumb shit stuff and it makes me laugh and it makes everyone else laugh in the room. All right. But, I need to gain subscribers. I'm not trying to lose subscribers. I'm trying to make people smarter. You're making people dumber. All right. You're making people dumber, my guy. Don't make people dumb on my channel. People come to my channel to be smart, to be educated, to be no bias, to learn something. You're just taking all the knowledge that I'm spitting out, and then you're just saying a bunch of garbage. All right? Stop Oscar the Grouching it, man. No more garbage, my guy. I need to get to 20,000 subscribers. I don't want to lose my subscribers because of you, my guy. All right? Realistic expectations does not mean that you're not as much of a hardcore fan, than someone that does see that, If anything, if you have realistic expectations, it shows how smart you are in football. All right. Just because you play Madden, Nola, does not know that doesn't in any means know that you know more football than me. All right. Facts. And like I said, it's going to actually be good for you guys to have a bad year. All right. So that way you can actually get your future quarterback. If you start floating around 500 all the time, you might not be able to get that next Hall of Fame quarterback or that next dude. You don't want just some mediocre guys, like Teddy Two Gloves or Drew Locks, like how Denver's at. Denver's in kind of the same situation too. You don't go from John Elway to Peyton Manning to fucking Paxton Lynch or fucking Drew Lock or Teddy Two Gloves. You need somebody better. My God. Yeah, Nola. Yeah, if you want to bet $100 that they're going to win games, you might as well just give me that money now. You ain't winning that. I mean, what do you think? And I'm even being humble and saying that Tampa might not even get 12 or 13 games. So what in God's green earth making you think that your roster is completely worse than mine? I'm coming off a Super Bowl win with a team that can win a Super Bowl again, and you think that you're going to be able to get more wins? That's just asinine. My guy, Jesus. Man. No chance in hell. Not happening. Not happening. Well, I've been online for about 2 hours. I anticipated going on for about a half hour, but again, just like on every stream, young Nola decides to come in the room when he's not sleeping and to give me brain damage more than I'll ever know. Ruined his chances with any other Saints fan in the building. You are not creeping. You are not getting any phone numbers. You are getting rejected, just like Dikembe Mutombo. When you're going to the hole, you are getting the finger wag. No phone numbers for you. Catfish all day. All right. Your boy is thirsty and there is no more water to drink. All right. You might as well call it a day. All right. So why don't you take a break from giving me, brain damage, and let's save that for the next stream tomorrow while you say some ridiculous shit. Maybe we'll get some other people in the room saying ridiculous shit to me as well, like the Last Saint or a few of these other guys that hop in this, make it a comedy show. I didn't know it was going to be that much comedy, but Nola, it's okay, man. You know what I mean? It's okay to get rejected because, hey, be yourself, but don't have these unrealistic expectations because what's going to happen? Like if AK-41 gets hurt and you guys win 4 or 5 games, then what? Then what? We're going to switch teams? You're going to be an Atlanta Falcon fan? I mean, what are you going to do? Got to stick with your team through the highs and the lows, my guy. But I appreciate every single one of y'all, even young Nola, giving me the brain damage. You guys are the best fans on planet Earth. And remember, it's okay to be bad. It's okay to have a bad season, especially if it's going to lead you to success long term. Okay? You have a bad year, you get a higher draft pick, you end up getting better pieces to make your team better long term. We're going to have a fantastic season. I can't wait for college football. I can't wait for the NFL. We're going to be able to wait and see what happens. But young Nola is not getting any phone numbers. Don't worry. Nola will keep spitting out garbage and being a keyboard warrior. He will make everyone dumber in the chat. So just, be aware of that. But there'll be others that will make everyone dumber too, that have unrealistic expectations. But all in all, we try to be able to support each other as long as someone's not giving me brain damage. All right. And we're going to have a great year. We are going to have a great year. a great year, a fantastic year of football. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be a lot of unexpecteds. We get a lot of rookies, a lot of teams that obviously are going to trend upwards, teams that are going to fall back, rookies that are going to show out, guys that are going to be comeback player of the years. It's going to be really fun. We get the top 100, I believe, is this week as well. So the top 100. The top 100, we'll be able to go over that. I assume it'll be something like, Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, Josh Allen, Russell Wilson. There's going to be guys. I mean, I'm kind of curious to see where they go with it. But Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, I mean, based off last season's numbers, I mean, obviously, so you could go, let's see, Mahomes, Rodgers, Brady, Josh Allen, or Josh Allen, Brady, and then maybe Russell Wilson. I mean, well, we'll see where it goes. Obviously, but the 100 is always crazy, having Mahomes at like 4 or 5, very disrespectful. But I'm definitely excited to be able to see where it goes. Nola, you're not getting the phone number. You're not getting the digits. Read a dictionary, read a book, ABC 1, 2, 3, go back to school. And hopefully you can say something intelligent in the chat so that way I can get subscribers and not lose them. Remember, the goal is for me to get 20,000, right? Remember, I'm trying to get to 4 million views. I'm trying to get from 1,100, videos to 2,000, get signed, leave a legacy. I don't want to make all my followers dumber at the end of the day. All right. But I appreciate every single one of y'all. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Appreciate everyone that donated to me today in the chat. I love you. I don't hate anybody. And like I said, I root for all the teams, even the Saints, the Panthers, even the Falcons, the Falcons. And I really, really like to root for the Detroit Lions and the Cincinnati Bengals, the bottom feeders of the league, Jags and Jets as well. I hate seeing teams be bad for years and years and years. And the league is going to be better, obviously, when we have this new generation of quarterbacks leading our squads. I can't wait to be able to talk to you guys again. Like I said, I'll be trying to grind as much until we get to Thursday. Washington football team, New England Patriots, 4:30 Pacific time. I will be in the room. We'll be doing the live stream, so join me for that particular stream. Thank you for all the questions. Thank you for all the brain damage from the Saints fans. And like I said, it's going to be a fantastic year. And it's always good to have optimism, but you also have to have some realism in your thoughts and in your thought process. So I got one question for you. Who talk sports like us, your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics. Please don't give me brain damage. NWSF Chain Gang in the building. I hope you guys have a great rest of your night. Come up with some good questions for tomorrow. Hopefully there's some breaking news and no injuries that are season ending. I love you. I appreciate you. Nola, Hybrid, Toby, Tess, everyone that's in the building, Justin Wills, Ryan Schrick, all of y'all, even the ones that gave me brain damage. I love you. I appreciate you. And I'll be back very, very soon. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream and the comedy. And I'll be back soon. Peace. Love you guys. Gang.